Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Broadcasting live here at the Odyssey Empire Studios. Right over here in, what would you call this area?
Murphy Canyon.
Murphy Canyon. Well, listen, welcome in. It's great to be here on a Wednesday. Let's get our heads right. Feel much better today than I did yesterday. Much, much better. I don't know really what happened, but if you've seen the scene from Dumb and Dumber, where Lloyd pours Turbo Lax into Harry's coffee mug and Harry drinks it. That's what I went through actually at about 8:30 yesterday until about 8 o'clock last night. Yeah. And then watch that game. Just didn't really make me feel much better.
It wasn't a stomach settler.
It was not a stomach settler. It was not a nice piece of ginger to settle my stomach. What the hell? I will say, I did say to my missus, I said, who cooked dinner last night? She said, I did. I go, that's the first meal you've cooked in 4 years. What'd you do to it? Because I can't be more than 5 feet away from the toilet because I'll just never cook again. I go, okay, fine by me. At this point, I can't afford to waste entire days sitting on the toilet. But that experience was a lot more pleasurable than watching that baseball game last night that we will get into. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Off to a fantastic start this morning. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias to you.
Sorry about your stomach intestinal issues yesterday.
Don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
Sometimes you can pinpoint it. Sometimes you have no idea. Sometimes it's a virus and not something you ate. So you can't really blame Hannah for sure.
Can't I?
No. I mean, she may have bought something that wasn't right, but she doesn't know that too. Or maybe she did something wrong. You have no idea. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you can just go like, oh, I know what it was. I can think back, and it was definitely this that I ate that has caused my intestinal distress.
She made taco bowls. And, I ate one. It was fine. It was good. And in fact, this is the funny part. I fought through it all day. Got some Pepto. Went down to pick up Bo from baseball camp. And chugged some Pepto. Hannah says, nobody else is sick. That's so weird. It is weird. Perhaps somebody saw some good blood work come back my way and decided I'm going to be stuck with this guy longer than I want it to be. So I'll put something in his food,
taco bowl,
to kill him, or at least.
Do you do the crunchy shell, or do you go healthy? And
no, we want a bowl, just a bowl.
Regular bowl.
We did
the crunchy shell is so elite.
We did beans,
but also not healthy.
We did
not necessary.
Beans, the meat, pico de gallo, guacamole, and I stir it all together. Oh, a little corn in there too. We both like corn.
It's weird that you don't like avocados, but I
love
guacamole.
Yeah. And I ate that. And And so I fought through it all day. And I was like, this is a nightmare, like a full-on nightmare. We got out of here, went to the prod studio, did the promo, had to go to this bathroom before I left, had to go to the bathroom downstairs before I got in my car. We're talking
twice on the way out the door.
40 seconds. And I texted her, I'm like, hopefully you're not home because this is grounds for divorce. If you walk in and this is what you're going to have to go through all day, I get it, why you'd want me to pack my bags and leave. She said, I'll stay away. So I go to the field, pick up Bo from camp, and then get home, and I'm still just a wreck. I just go lay down. I just laid down and rested. Did not throw up at all. Laid down and rested, and all of a sudden, Ben, I realized the only thing I ate yesterday at all was one tiny little tangerine. That's it. So I'm like, well, my body's hungry. I've got nothing in it. I've had no calories. Had to skip my workout. Had to text my trainer. Big, long diatribe. He's like fighting me back to just come anyway. I go, you don't understand. If I lift 140-pound weight, it's not like it's over for the whole place.
I will throw up all over your gym.
And what about the other? Worse. And then I have to leave town and move somewhere else to Montana. I have to move away. I have to move my family. Maybe they want to come with me. Maybe they don't. But
is that who lives in Montana? Montana's just filled with
people that crap their pants at gyms
in their hometowns.
That's
and
right.
had to move to Montana.
They run from the law. If you run from the law, you go there. Idaho is always a good one. West Virginia, fit right in there.
Go to any bar and ask somebody their story.
Why are
and
you
they'll
here?
be like, well,
moved here in 79.
I crapped my pants in front of this girl
I was
that
on
I
a date
liked when I was 17 years old. And I moved here. And
I was on a date. And well, that's my pants, man. What do you want me to tell you? The whole town knew about it. So I packed my car and left at the dead of night. And I'm here now.
Here I am in Helena.
And nobody knows my name. So, my God, it was horrible. But the worst part was I'm starving. So I amble out to the kitchen, shuffle out there at about, I'd say about 5:30. And Hannah is making for the kids leftover taco bowls. Now, it smelled incredible. And I thought, should I roll the dice again and just get a soft flour tortilla fillet with all the fillings and just eat it? Think I'd be okay?
You didn't.
No. She looked at me. She goes, are you out of your mind? If that's really what you think it is, then you need to eat something else. So I had some crackers, some juice.
The old crackers bit.
So I didn't do it, dude. I didn't do it. I woke up and I felt like $1 million today. Ended up watching that game. But yeah, and I told these guys in here this morning, I go, there's something I want to talk about. I said, but I don't know if I'm vulnerable enough to do it because it makes me feel bad. And you can relate, Ben, I think a little bit. And I value your advice, Paulie. So I picked up my son from camp yesterday. We got home and he goes, hey, I don't want you to come tomorrow. And I went, excuse me? And he goes, I don't want you to come to my camp tomorrow. And I go, why not? Now I'm at this point, I'm devastated. My heart is crumbling. I said, why not? He goes, I play better when you're not there. And I go, what are you talking about? I've been at every game you've ever played, ever. I've been right by your side coaching. I'm not a yelling coach. I think if any parent is listening and I've coached your kid, I would say you'd have a good experience. Now, it's always different, father, son. You know, Bo and we've chopped it up on the field a little bit a couple times when he's done something worthy of a chew out, like, you know, throw his batting helmet when he hits a screaming line drive into somebody's glove, comes back and throws his helmet and sits and pouts. I've said, hey, man, that's not acceptable, which I would say to your kid. I would say to your kid, Paulie, if you had kids, I would say, we don't do that, right? So I've chewed him on the field before, but I'm never negative. I never tell him he sucks. You know, nothing. I'm always positive. But he told me, I don't want to go. I don't want you to come. And I'm like, is he doing a thing where he's like, he realizes how powerful his words are now, and he's literally trying to hurt his old man? Because all I thought was, I told Hannah this morning, I go, what kind of piece of ass father am I if my own son says, no, Dad, I don't want you to come to the baseball game, the sport which you have. It's all we talk about, and we play it every day. And I throw him 1 million grounders and 1 million batting practice pitches. And I looked at him last night. I said, all right, man, like, if you really don't want me to be there, then I won't be there. Which guts me.
No. And I get why this hurts. He doesn't he doesn't see it that way. I know you're worried that you're Todd Marinovich's dad. Sports Reference, 1990s.
100%.
You're pressuring him too much. You're too hard on him. And that's what you're worried about. It's actually, in my experience and my opinion, it's actually the opposite. He loves you so much and wants to please you and impress you so much that he's worried that if he doesn't play well, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself because he loves his dad and he wants to do well in front of his dad. And he feels like maybe that is hindering his performance. And he thinks like, I'll do better if I don't have you watching. And I actually went through this, not with my son, but I think with my dad growing up. My dad did the same thing as you. He threw me hundreds and hundreds of baseballs, was, coaching, supportive, every single practice. I think I felt the need to pay him back by being better. Like I was fine. I was a decent little leaguer and okay pitcher, but I was never one of the star players. And he put so much time and effort into me. And I always felt this has got to be somewhat disappointing for him because I should be better than I am. And I just wasn't that athletic or skilled that I could ever be one of the top players. And I felt like I was disappointing maybe him a little bit.
But I've never given him that impression.
No. And he never did either. No, my dad never even once.
Yeah.
Never once was anything other than supportive and like, you're playing for fun, just do the best you can every single time. But internally, I was always like, I'm not good enough. I should be better than I am. Bo takes it so seriously.
He does.
He feels like he should be perfect, which it's baseball. You're never going to be perfect. As Mike Schilt likes to say, the other team's trying too.
Yep.
You can't possibly win them all. You can't get a hit every time up. You can't make every play in the field. And you feel like you should when you're a kid, especially at that age. So I certainly understand that. I don't think it's a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's actually a sign that you are doing something right.
Well, so what is the right move?
Just a little patient. He'll realize if you don't go that it doesn't really affect him at all. He'll have a good game, he'll have a bad game, whatever. And it's not you that's causing it. It's baseball. It's playing sports. You're going to have inconsistent performances, and it doesn't have anything to do with you being there or not being there. But he doesn't realize that yet. He's looking for, as we all do. What we do this watching the Padres. What's the reason? We always have to. What's the reason they're struggling? And you can one day you'll blame Xander, and one day you'll blame the bullpen, and one day you'll blame Schilt, and you're always coming with a reason. And sometimes there just isn't a reason why you don't perform well. There just isn't. But you're always looking for it, and especially a 7-year-old who's not going to totally understand that. He's going to look, okay, well, what's consistent? Oh, Dad's there. I'm nervous because of Dad or something. So he thinks that that's going to fix it. And then you'll actually be happy because he'll be so much better. He's going to be great. You'll be like, oh, there you go. You're really doing great. Perfect. But it won't help.
Well, I said to him last night, I said, just to be clear, so I'm done coaching you. He goes, no. I go, so you want me to coach you next year? He goes, yeah. I go, all right. But I can't come watch you play today? No.
He's like, that is
all right.
You nailed it.
Yeah, you got it, Dad. I'm glad you get it. Get it through your head. So now I have to do. I'm gonna go watch him play, but I'm gonna hide.
I was gonna say, do you just get the binoculars?
There's a area where I can go. He won't even know I'm there, and I'm gonna go watch him play because it's my greatest joy. It's my greatest joy, and I love how much he loves it, and I love how serious he takes it. But I don't want him to feel that way. So yeah, man, it was a bit of a blow.
Have you considered surreptitiously going?
Oh yeah, I just said I'm gonna go hide.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hide there.
Right.
There's an area I can go stand off in the trees and
then if he has a good game and he's happy, you can then tell him I was watching.
Yeah, no, I saw you, dude.
Yeah, you saw him, and he'll be so happy that you saw it.
Yeah.
And he'll realize, oh, it had nothing to do with it.
Are you gonna still go and just like watch from a distance?
I was thinking about doing it surreptitiously. I was going to try to do that. So yeah, crap day, crap dad, crap game. Today's theme for the Ben Wood Show is crap. 50 feet of crap. It was pretty hot last night. Pretty hot. And, there's a lot of guys in the crosshairs. I think Xander Bogaerts is number one. And I know baseball, guys, is a team game. We win as a team. We lose as a team. I got to say, man, I think this one falls squarely on his back. Literally.
Jeremiah Stroud.
And Jeremiah Stroud.
Two guys didn't perform. The rest of the team did pretty darn well last night.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And I think Xander had every opportunity last night to come through. He left. I believe he left. He was responsible for 7 outs.
Yeah, I think he had 9 guys on base during those 7 outs.
7 outs. That's a quarter of your team's outs from the 5-hole hitter. And again, we're not talking. Oh, he hit seeds, man. He got unlucky, bro. The Randy rollover into the grass and then he busts it down the line, sure, and he leads, I think, baseball in infield hits. That's not a good thing for a guy that makes $25 million a year. It's just not. It's not a good thing. So he's got to figure it out, and I don't know what that means. If that means, hey, man, my wrists hurt, and I got to get my wrists right, then go get your wrists right. Go get fixed to where you feel like you can contribute to this team. Benny, he is in a free fall right now, a free fall. The numbers I posted last night from his last 30 games are for $25 million. There's just no way. And I know how hard baseball is. I know how hard hitting is. I can't even imagine how hard it is at that level. But when you make that kind of money, you got to produce, period.
You have expectations.
There are expectations. I don't really get mad at Tyler Wade for not coming through. I don't. The guy makes $700,000 a year. I don't get mad at him. I'd love him to. I don't honestly, I don't really get mad when Diaz and Maldonado strike out. I get mad when they drop third strikes. I get mad when they're lazy. That stuff drives me nuts. But it doesn't bother me when Tyler Wade doesn't come up with a big hit in the 8th inning. It's Tyler Wade. Like, he's there. He's a bench guy that is forced into action.
Right, but should you be playing Tyler Wade over Xander Bogaerts?
No.
Xander
And that's
Bogaerts
the other.
actually has a better OPS than Tyler Wade.
That's the other thing.
That's how bad Tyler Wade is.
That's the other thing.
He's actually statistically worse than Xander Bogaerts. You don't have a better option.
That can't be
Xander Bogaerts.
That can't be the bar for a $25 million player. Is, well, he's better than this $700,000 player. It can't be. It just can't be. And honestly,
not the bar for success, the bar to play. People are wondering, why is Xander playing?
Well, you have no choice.
You have no choice.
You have no choice.
There's no one else to put in there.
And now, after the unintentional hit by pitch to Iglesias last night, you may really have no choice. If you really wanted to bench Xander Bogaerts, you got Mason McCoy as your shortstop.
Iglesias also has a worse OPS than Xander.
Correct.
Worse OBP, worse slugging. I mean, you think Xander's bad, but you don't have anyone on the bench who is better than him.
No, and you're also forced to play him because you pay him $25 a year. You guys, that's just how it works. I know you know this.
I mean, the depth concerns right now on this team,
they're massive.
On this roster, are just alarming.
They're massive.
I mean, you have no wiggle room.
Yeah, Mason can pick it, no question, but he's not going to hit. I mean, but Xander's already not hitting. So I look, when you have $25 million a year players on your team, whether you should have signed them or not, and I think we know the answer to that question. They have to play. They're going to play. Michael Conforto makes $17 million a year. He plays in L.A., plays almost every night. They've got better options. They have better options than Michael Conforto to go out and play the outfield.
He actually has a worse OPS than Xander Bogaerts.
Correct. So, yeah, man, it's. I just don't know. I just don't know what you do with him. What do you do? What is the
$280 million question?
What is the?
I do think that we're approaching the point where at least some sort of reset. They did with Luis Robert. They just gave him 4 or 5 days off and said, hey, you're not playing, and he's come back and he's been a lot better since then. The trade rumors are popping up more because he's actually swinging the bat and playing better. I don't know that that's going to fix Xander Bogaerts, that he just needs some time off. It's not that he's been overused. I don't know if it's his health, as you said. Is it his wrist? Are they fixable at all, or is it something that's chronic that's going to bother him? Well, he hasn't complained about it. We haven't seen any stories this year about Xander being less than healthy.
I mean, doesn't the quality of the AB tell you the fact that he cannot hit the ball barely out of the infield? I mean, really, when he hits it hard, the center fielder is running in to catch it. Wes says you trade him and eat the money. Trade him to who? To who? He has a no trade clause. He doesn't have to accept anything.
At this point,
who wants him?
At this point, I don't think even if you included like Ethan Salas and or Leo DeVries to try to get rid of him and got nothing back, that there is a team that would saddle themselves with that kind of contract.
Wes says anyone. Okay, I'm fully in agreement with you that it needs to be explored, but who is it?
Person's out there. I don't think that team exists.
What team right now goes, you know what?
They just all say no.
You know what we're missing? we're missing a light-hitting, rapidly declining, potentially injured shortstop.
Hugely expensive
shortstop.
I mean, the only way that happens is if we eat the entire contract.
Right, 225 or whatever.
Yeah,
like whatever is left. I again, great idea on MLB.
And even then,
great idea on MLB The Show. Phenomenal, easy. I can get it done for you today.
Even then, the other team's like, well, then he's just going to take up a spot on our team. Like, we don't want to play him either.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. I don't know what you do. But again, I don't think there's a team out there right now. 29 teams to choose from. There's not a team out there, 29, that says, oh, yeah, I'd like that. Also, that he will sign off on. You can't just dump him and go, you're going to the White Sox. We're going to take their number 12 catching prospect and we're going to pay all the money.
Hey, the A's are interested.
They need veteran leadership. They're going to say, absolutely not. He's going to say, no, I'm not going to play for the A's or the White Sox. I like it here.
Yeah.
We are, as I think I said earlier this season, we're like 3 years away from this conversation. In 3 years.
Right. We should have been.
Well, we can, in 3 years, you can legitimately start thinking about just eating the rest of the contract, and moving on if he continues to perform
maybe even
poorly. But yeah, maybe
when did they move on finally? Well, with Hosmer, I mean,
still had like three years left with Hosmer.
5 years into the 8-year deal, and we're
in the 6th year of the 8th year deal.
It is really tough. It's a tough. There's just he had so many chances last night, so many chances to deliver. And didn't get the job done.
And I don't think this is reactionary on our part.
It's not, man. Go look at the last 30 days.
We've been as patient or more patient than any fan, any radio host can expect to be. This is the 3rd year. He's had a couple of decent months in 3 years where he's hit over 300 and
hitting some doubles.
Moderate, okay slugging percentage. It's just been pretty much an unmitigated disaster of a signing for the San Diego Padres. And again, it's not because Xander doesn't care. He does. He's trying. He works very hard. He is so lost, though. He's not the player he was. Nope. And I don't know that, anyone is figuring out how to fix it, or if it even is fixable. It might not be.
It's interesting to hear you guys be so critical at 6:20 in the morning, because I woke up to some DMs. I've seen comments in the chat probably at least 15 times already this morning. I have seen the old, hey, can't listen because I know you guys are just going to turd polish this team, or love you guys, but I just can't do it anymore. You guys defending these guys.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look.
Can't restructure his contract, Ignacio. They don't allow that. The union doesn't allow that in Major League Baseball. There's just no options other than continuing to play him for now.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's 8 years left of this deal. 9 years left? 8 years?
Not 8 after this year.
Yeah. There's no light at the end of this time.
Right? 11 years. This is year 3. Yep.
Well, listen, this is me holding him accountable. He's got to be better. You have to figure it out. If it takes surgery, then go get surgery. Do what you have to do to become the player. Do what you have to do to become half the player you were in Boston. Half.
It's almost made Leo DeVries untradeable because you're going to need a shortstop as soon as possible. You're like, this guy needs to come through because we're going to need a shortstop for the future because it's not Xander Bogaerts. I mean, they kind of knew that a couple of years ago already that he was going to move off of shortstop, but now it's desperate. You need to find a shortstop somewhere at some point because you can't just keep doing this for years and years. You're going to have to find someone who produces more than Xander.
Rod says Xander didn't give up 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Jesus, give it a rest, you big babies. Xander had the opportunity to drive in like 9 runs last night. You know how many he drove in? 0. Double plays, twin killings, twice in rallies.
Every time there's a runner on base, it seemed like.
Yeah. Hey, what did he leave on? 9?
I think it was like 9, yes, but
I mean, guys, you're the 5-hole hitter that makes $25 million a year. I know it's not that simple. I know it's hard. It's very hard.
Even superstar, even Shohei Ohtani, he 4 strikeouts. Yeah. I mean, in a horrible game, they're not going to cut him. You're allowed to have bad games.
Yeah, but Shohei Ohtani's an MVP.
This is
it's also their pitcher.
This is criticism that extends for multiple years. And last night was simply a microcosm of what many years of struggles have been.
And he's sliding. It's just the numbers are sliding. I know he had an RBI double a couple days ago. Great, fantastic. We need more of that. But as Paul said, he's not the only weak spot. He's not. He's absolutely not the only weak spot on this team. This team has a severe lack of depth right now. It's being exposed, and it sucks. It really, really sucks.
All right, we're running out of time here, so let's check traffic, and then we'll go straight to our Padres Wrap-Up. Then I'll also set the menu when we come back. But let's get to a quick timeout with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This traffic report is brought to you by the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. Watch out for a crash on the 76 right at the 79, and the 8 westbound slows down with another accident at Camino del Rio, and some overnight construction slowing you down. 2 right lanes are closed on the 52 eastbound right at the 805. Traffic brought to you by the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware. Purchase a grill this week and your first cookout is free with 12 burgers.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Today is Wear Blue Day, by the way. I see that you did. I'm not.
I tried to pick, so I was running out of non-blue clothes. I tried not to wear blue during the Dodgers series.
Yeah.
I tried to pick my least Dodgery shade of blue. Felt like the light, very, very light blue was
You're actually wearing blue on blue right now.
I'm wearing like Charger blue.
Yeah, powder blue.
No, it's not powder blue. I wouldn't say that.
Wear Blue Day.
What other color can you wear with a light blue shirt other than blue pants? That
Black.
would go black, and you can't wear black and blue together.
Buddy, it's not 1987. You absolutely can.
You cannot.
You absolutely
that's,
can.
No.
You
That's a fashion faux pas.
It's not. You
I
wear a
think it
black
used to
suit.
be.
Yeah, it did in 1987 it was. But you can wear a black suit with a blue undershirt any day.
You can wear gray with blue,
You can also wear black.
but not black.
You absolutely can wear black. Absolutely. When's the last time you picked up an issue of Gentleman's Quarterly magazine?
It's been a while.
Yeah, 1987.
Black and blue.
The game's changed, buddy.
Game's changed.
Like a
man.
bruise.
Yeah.
Black and blue.
The game.
I did not get that memo. I did not get that memo. Man, yeah, this is a somber way to start the show. Again, Xander is certainly part of the offensive problem for the Padres. Just as much of a problem is that they actually are playing three guys who are worse than Xander in the lineup. So everyone who's screaming, you gotta drop Xander down to 8th or 9th in the lineup. That just means moving up Brandon Lockridge and Tyler Wade and Jose Iglesias and Martin Maldonado, all of whom are worse offensively than Xander Bogaerts. I know it doesn't seem possible. Xander gets exposed more because he comes up with, he comes up right after all the good players, the good offensive players.
Yep.
So he's going to look worse because he's going to have way more opportunities to drive in runs. But the numbers show that he is just, there are more bad offensive players on this team than you can hide. And that is the real issue. As you said, they don't have depth. They don't have offensive depth on this team right now.
Correct.
Right. So there's no real reason to hold Mike Schultz's feet to the fire about batting Xander lower in the lineup. He would rightfully say, who do you want me to bat higher in the lineup?
Is it possible that this team just sucks?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As it's currently constructed.
I mean, look,
this team just suck.
what is
They
it,
just
June-
suck right now.
June 18th, we're almost 3 months in to the season. We're almost halfway,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how many games they've officially played.
How many games did they
I-
play?
I'm not good
Played
at math.
70 games? 70 games.
So they got 90 games.
Almost
Yeah.
halfway.
Yeah.
That's a big enough sample size where now that you can say the offense has been below average
72.
for more than half of the games they've played so far. I think you are right to be concerned.
The offense is below. Now, you have to take the entire 72 into account.
Okay. Yeah. And they've had some really, really good stretches. Some really, really good
So you can't ignore those. And, then you look at the team. You are what your record says you are.
Yep.
Right? Padres are 6 games above 500, currently holding the 3rd wild card spot in the National League. Trending not in the right direction.
Correct.
Clearly. No one's going to deny that they've been trending in the right direction. But they're still better than other teams in the National League, which is, the goal is not to be your best in June. The goal is to get to the playoffs and be your best in October. Is that still possible for the Padres? Yeah, absolutely. It's possible for the Padres, but they need help. They need to make some moves. And I don't know how much longer AJ Preller can wait.
I'm sure he's not wanting to. I'm sure he's not wanting. I'm sure. But again, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, other teams know you're desperate. They know you're desperate. And when you're desperate, what are you going to be pitched? You're going to be pitched the highest offer. You're not going to get blank unless you give us blank, blank, and blank. Padres are absolutely desperate. And it's funny, man. I thought about it last night. I went, yeah, a left fielder would be great. But I feel like you also need a catcher. I really do. I don't know how much longer I can watch these guys box strikes, cost us runs. I think Maldonado's leading the league in pass balls. Benny's a part-time player. At this point, you need some serious help. You need a right-handed power bat that can DH. What do you do with Luis Arraez? What's happening there? Like, this is more than just like, oh man, if we just had a left fielder, we would be in the clear. You're going to need starting pitching. How many more times can you go against good teams? Our record against good teams, Ben, is getting worse and worse by the day. And we did say at the beginning of the year, you got to beat up on the bad teams. You have to handle your business. I think they've done that for the most part. Beat up on the teams that they should beat. But at some point, you're going to have to beat the good teams too. And the fact that you got punked last night again in LA, straight up, you got punked again. It's a tough pill for a fan to swallow.
I just quickly looked, no scientific proof here, but through a lot of the major offensive stats now through 72 games, not just the last 30 days or the last 2 weeks or anything like that. Over the course of the season, Padres are bottom 3rd
of everything
in just about everything. Yep. So that's a bad offense. And that's the whole season. That's all 72. They're good. They're good at average. They hit the ball. They put the ball in play. They don't strike out. They're like second to last in strikeouts, which is great. Slugging, OBP, home runs, doubles, RBIs.
Yeah, it's
bottom 3rd.
It sounds great. If we fired up the old PlayStation 5, is it 5 now? Or is it still 4?
5.
Fired up the old PlayStation 5, loaded up MLB The Show. I can get Xander off this team in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
You might have to turn the settings off.
Of course I would. I'd turn
trade refusal
off, all of it. But I'll get you a really good deal. I wish it worked that way. It doesn't. I don't feel like he's a legitimate part of the future of this team. I don't feel like I want to give Luis Arraez much money. Not at $14 million a year. What he's making, he has had brutal start to the season for him. Not start, 72 games in. Swing. I mean, again, it's so hard because, you saw the pitch a foot off the plate. What does he do? Slaps it down the line. The result is great. But later in the game, when he comes up with the bases loaded, what does he swing at? A garbage pitch, pops it straight up in the air. What do you do? What do you do with a guy that thinks he can hit everything and has proven he can and is just not right now? So it's just tough, man. That loss got me last night. It pushed me a little bit over into the doomer edge because you feel like it starts to snowball. Our catching sucks. Our bench sucks. Our left fielder sucks. Our shortstop sucks. Our lineup sucks. Our starting pitching is okay, but we got guys hurt. We don't know when they're coming back. So I crossed the line last night from I still believe to, oh God, we're dead. Are there enough players in Major League Baseball to make this team better?
I mean, we always knew this was going to be a tough stretch of the season.
We did.
I mean, you could see that coming before the season even started. June's going to be a really tough month for the Padres. Almost no days off.
It's like make or break.
Tough opponents. You can't die on the vine. They're getting close to that point where, we wanted them to tread water. They're starting to dip under the surface a little bit here. Yeah. They're starting to dip under the surface. Now, I'm having my sanity questioned in the chat. Someone called me delusional for saying they're a playoff team. I'm not delusional. I'm looking at the standings right now.
Per the numbers,
they're
right
a playoff
now.
team.
Yep.
There are flawed playoff teams every year. They're not a perfect team, Mars says, Ben thinks they were 1 inning away from winning last night and all would have been good. They were 1 inning away from winning last night. All would not have been good even if they won that game. They could have won the last 5 games, and the Padres still have issues. Wins and losses don't always expose your issues. You can win a bunch of games and still be the Rockies have won 3 in a row. Are they all's good now?
Yeah.
All's good in Colorado. They won 3 in a row. No, they're a horrible team. Padres have flaws. Whether they win, they'll win a few. They'll get back on track. They're not going to.
Yeah.
They're not going to just play terrible forever. They're not going to lose games forever. But these flaws that we're talking about are fundamental that need to be fixed, and that you can overcome them for short stretches. You can even overcome them in the playoffs. The Dodgers were a very flawed team last year.
They literally punted games.
Hugely flawed team that won the World Series last year.
Yeah,
it is possible. It takes some incredible performances, some incredible, clutch coming up. So I'm not going to ever say that it's done. You can't turn it around.
$1 billion to put Band-Aids on some of those flaws.
You do. And, right now, I would certainly not expect the Padres to be a World Series contender based on the roster they have right now. They've got to make some moves. They got to get some guys playing, healthy in the starting rotation. And then we can reevaluate when they do, if they do, and when they do.
We're going to do this thing every time Randy Vasquez starts, too. We got to leave this guy in 100 pitches. Guys, I understand why Mike Schilt got squirrely and pulled Randy Vasquez last night. I'm surprised he let him go to face Ohtani and those guys again. Got him through 5 and said, that's it. You did your job. I'm going to go to my well-rested bullpen. They've had a couple of days off. My high-leverage arms, this is what I was saving them for. Unfortunately, something's going on with Jeremiah Estrada. He has zero confidence. Just was up there flipping fastballs. Dodgers can hit fastballs. When no other pitch is coming and he can't locate. When you have a pitcher with 3 pitches and you could subtract 2 off the bat, pretty fun AB. Very
crazy
fun
that
AB.
Will Smith couldn't get the first 11 that he had. They were all fastballs.
It's like the greatest feeling in the world. Oh, can't throw a slider, can't throw a chitter. I'm sitting fastball. Those guys don't miss them. So I can understand why people are, oh, man, you got to leave Randy out there. And I'm like, well, I can understand why Schilt went to his bullpen. That's what a bullpen's for. And you saved them for that. They did not come through last night. They did not come through. So Randy Vasquez being the end-all, be-all guy that's got to throw 100 pitches against that lineup, I just don't think so. I don't think so. This is, to use my old phrase, this is 1985 anymore. You got a bullpen there. You have to use it. I get that they're overworked. I get it. But you have to go out and execute if you're Estrada.
When your pitching staff is full of Randy Vasquez's, Stephen Kolex, and Ryan Bergerts, your bullpen is going to get used a lot more.
That's exactly right,
You
man.
think if Darvish and King and Musk are over there to give you 7 every night, like bullpen would be even better, even more rested.
It stinks, dude. And they're just not good. They're just not good right now. Just not good.
All right, let's check traffic. We can start going through the specifics of the game. Here are the highlights and the lowlights. There was a lot of obviously interesting stuff going on, including the hit by pitch battle with Tatis, Ohtani, all getting plunked. Lots to discuss from last night's game. We'll get to that coming up after Sue's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
To left. And hard and gone. Another high drive to left center field. Feed dead. His second home run of the game. Randy Arraez ties it. Another high drive to left center field. Feed dead. His second home run of the game. Randy Pages ties it. To left. And hard and gone. Another high drive to left center field. Feed dead. His second home run of the game. Randy Pages ties it. To left. And hard and gone. Another high drive to left center field. Feed dead. His second home run of the game. Randy Pages.
Field not too deep. Oscar Hernandez looking into the night sky, and he makes the catch. Down to 1-2-3, top of the ninth inning, as an absolutely wild night at Dodger Stadium comes to a close in a relatively routine manner. Dodgers 8, Padres 6. They have taken the first 2 games of this 4-game series.
You know, almost an actual hard-fought baseball game, but definitely a hard-fought baseball game on our part. Both sides competing very well, and everybody was given a quarter. And so, you know, guys got after it, got ourselves in position, you know, there, especially in the 8th, to tie it or take the lead, and couldn't quite do it, but the fight was there, which is consistent with our club.
What just happened? This is
if you're listening on the radio, it was normal. Apparently, if you were watching on our stream, we had some technical difficulties. The audio didn't play, and you ended up getting, was it Andy Pages? The Dodgers call on a loop.
The wrap-up video.
Here in deep drive.
The wrap-up video had a highlight that had a Joe Davis call on it. The Dodgers won. They got the highlight.
Had I heard that, though, I would have fallen asleep, though. Because if I would have heard it, you would have seen me just go and fall asleep here at the wheel.
99.9% of the time that we've done the wrap-up videos like that, the audio gets muted so that you hear our audio, the wrap-up.
That one didn't.
And that one, for whatever reason, did not. So, like, I was like, what the hell is everyone talking about? And I'm like,
over and over and over.
You know what? I know what happened. I can't mute it. It was either take down the video and we're just sitting here awkwardly for like 3 minutes.
I swear, listen.
My fault. Yeah.
We've been known to troll.
That was not even
that was not a troll. We are nicer than that. So sorry if you're on the stream and all you heard over and over on loop for 5 minutes was Andy Pages' home run. So
putting the picture of Otani reacting like he just got shot like that. Yeah. That was a bit of a troll, but the audio was not. That was not intentional.
It's not a bit. I swear to God, it was not a bit.
I apologize.
We would tell you that it was a bit. That was very mean. And Paulie, I will give Paulie his lashings. Later.
Yeah, I mean, the difference in the game.
How dare you?
In the game last night, you know, Will Smith and Andy Pages were huge for the Dodgers. Xander Bogaerts and Jeremiah Estrada were not for the Padres.
Alexis that's a nice way to calm down the doomers.
just Joe Davis on repeat.
Oh my God, Andy Pages! Like over and over and over and over.
I wouldn't do that to you guys. I love a good troll. I wouldn't do that to you intentionally.
Never. We would never.
Otani cranks one out.
So so sorry, guys. Got to have a little levity. A little levity is important, but that was not our purpose. So
I for most of the game, first few innings, good back and forth battle between the two teams. Randy Vasquez, gave up a couple solo shots to Pages, but also got some big outs, got Shohei a couple of times, and Padres were able to get to, another bullpen game early and get some runs on the board. You kind of liked what you saw again. The problem is the Padres are not able to carry that through for a whole game against the Dodgers right now. They've had every single loss to the Dodgers has essentially followed the same script. Competitive game, but at some point the Padres just run out of ammunition and the Dodgers come through with a big hit to turn the game around. The Padres have led in every single game they've played against the Dodgers. Yep. All 5 of them. 6, 5. Where are we at now?
6.
5 of them, yeah.
And, they're 1-4.
But they've only won 1 of them.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have been able to turn the tables every single time other than the one they punted on.
Let's get into the fun stuff.
Let's get
into what the fun stuff is. Randy Vasquez, you have earned a lot of respect in this town.
We will get to the ejection and more coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Never really got to set the menu because, we just got right into it last hour on the Padres Dodgers, and we're going to continue to get into it. In fact, we're just going to blow out. Paulie just made an executive decision, and I agree with it.
Are you going to play Dodgers clips the whole rest of the show?
Yes, that's his new bit. No, we're going to.
Otani cranks one out. Otani cranks one out.
And we really.
Otani cranks one out. Stop.
Thanking you.
We really need to spend a little expanded time on the drama of last night's game. We're going to do that this half hour. And then at the bottom of the hour, it's Big League Wednesday. We're going to be joined by former Major League pitcher Mark Grant. He's now a broadcaster with the San Diego Padres.
Heard of him?
Yeah, you kind of know as Mud. And Mud's going to be with us from LA to give his thoughts on last night's game and more. So that's all coming up this hour, and then we'll get into some of our regular features in our next hour, including Take on Woods Reindl Report, and give away some more Padres tickets as well to the series against the Washington Nationals and the Fernando Tatis Jr. Bat Flip Bobblehead Night. So that's all coming up. But all right, so I assumed, and to correct me if I'm wrong, Woods, because you kind of been calling for this for a while.
Minus the kind.
Through many managers
screaming
that the Padres do not do enough standing up for their own players. When they wear it, you don't see retaliation. You don't see them going after other teams'
One
star
player
players.
in particular.
Yeah.
But one player has worn way more than the rest.
And if not worn it, it's because of his extreme athleticism to get out of the way. He spent Fernando Tatis Jr., since he's been up, has spent an inordinate amount of time on his rear end and on his back from pitches up and in to him. And not just in, up and in. And last night, make no mistake, that's anything above the waist, that's up. 95-mile-an-hour sinker, hit him square in the back. And I become livid.
Now to be fair, I don't think every team is trying to send a message to
you got to move his
Tatis.
feet.
That's how they pitch him. That's the strategy, but it results in a lot of times where Fernando Tatis wears one.
Tony Gwynn Jr. last night said on the broadcast, he certainly didn't intend to hit Toddy. I disagree fully. He would, again, I guess he would know better than me because he played in the big leagues, but I disagreed fully, especially after the comments that you heard from Manny Machado talking about, we got stars over there. If we want to hit somebody, we're going to hit stars. Hearing about the comments from Dave Roberts after the game, I figured what a perfect time to go up and in, drill Fernando Tatis Jr. square in the back, and that's exactly what they did. And I did wonder.
There was an open base at first. Later in the game, when there was an open base, they intentionally walked him, so they have no problem putting him on an open base. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't know for sure that it was intentional.
Nobody. Here's the thing about
they certainly weren't worried about hitting him.
Trevino also hit him last week, and Schilt addressed that after the. Ryan Schimpf Enjoyer says he should stop crowding the plate. Bro, he's literally like the widest. He's like basically Manny now. He's up and his front leg is pointing down towards third. He's open. He's not a guy that's on top of the plate, I don't think. I don't think he crowds it. But again, you have to get guys like that out by throwing inside. You want to get in on their hands. You want them to be uncomfortable. I have no problem. And TN says, I think Tony Gwynn Jr. knows a little more about intentional versus unintentional. Fine. But again, this is my opinion. Again, based on comments from the night before. Dylan Cease hits Andy Pajes in the arm pad, and Andy Pajes flips out and says, F you. And Dave Roberts runs his mouth about it after the game. Mike Schilt talks about it after the game. Manny Machado talks about it after the game and says, we're not trying to hit that guy. They got real stars over there. Now they woke the sleeping.
Schilt pokes the bear when he gets caught mouthing, who the F do you think you are?
Correct. And I do feel like, if Tony says it's not intentional, okay, that's his opinion. I felt like it absolutely was. He dotted our star, right? Hit our star right in the back. So, okay, now we go to, and again, Fernando Tatis Jr., credit to him. No flip out. He got it. He knew. He knew that he was going to wear one, and he wore one, and he did it like a man, and he walked down to first base. He didn't say a word, didn't look at Trevino, nothing. That's how you take it. And he just walked down to first base. So great. Is it over? It's not over. Randy Vasquez. I don't know if he drinks beers, but I would buy him beers because I've been yelling at this team for 7 years. Protect your stars. Let them know you can't just go in and do this all the time. And Randy Vasquez plunks Another star. So you got 2 stars. Leadoff hitters, both huge stars. None bigger in the world than Shohei Ohtani. I love that from Randy Vasquez. Says, here, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to go below the belt. I'm going to hit you in the leg. Hurt. It's going to hurt. It's 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but it's not at your head. It's not at your back. I'm not going to hit you in the back. I'm going to hit you in the leg.
You don't have to hit the dirt.
And Ohtani took it well, too. 100%.
Took it well.
100%.
Went right down to first base. Didn't react like Andy Pajes.
The game polices itself, as they've always said. But to that point, it has felt like only one side got to play cop. We were always not playing cop back. Like we would never, ever throw inside or hit anybody or whatever.
Or Toddy would get hit, and then warnings would be immediately issued.
Exactly. So
just takes the ball away from you entirely.
So, kudos to Randy Vasquez for sticking up for his teammate and doing what I think, in my opinion, needed to be done. There's still many people out there that think, that's violence. That's, okay, fine. Game's policed itself like that for 100 years.
I've always been more on that side of the equation. Like, there's really
why do you want to give a guy on base?
There's no need to go down that road. I will credit Randy Vasquez. He did not let it turn into a big inning. Freddie Freeman added a 2-out single, but got out of the jam on a fly out to Will Smith, so it didn't cost him any runs. Sent a message that he has his team's back. What I question, and I still question, is does it really help your team at all? Like
it helps
it didn't help the Padres win the game last night.
No, but I think it helps your team, and I can promise you
will it have a positive effect going forward? You expect this to galvanize the Padres and, send them in a positive direction. They've got each other's backs. Is that enough? I'm always more like, no, you just need the skill to perform on the field. Like, having each other's back is fine, but it really isn't a defining factor of whether you're a good team or a bad team.
Yeah, no question.
I don't know.
But listen, I do think. All right, answer me this honestly. You've been around locker rooms long enough to know. You've been around sports long enough to know. You guys think Randy Vasquez got a couple pats on the rear end last night? Because I know he did.
Yes,
I know he did. And you know who probably gave him the first one and the biggest one? Fernando Tatis Jr. Down in the clubhouse. Hey, Pop, thank you for that.
I think Mike Schilt was very pleased.
100%. And Mike Schilt, listen to how he talked about
Mike Schilt is and Now, no one admitted that he did it on purpose. Randy Vasquez said, no, just slipped.
Good. You can't say I did it on purpose. You get suspended.
Now, listen to Mike Schilt and tell me if you think what he's saying, reading between the lines of the situation. Because he doesn't admit to anything either, but I thought it was fairly clear with his tone and his choice of words what he thought.
What did you make of the way the third inning was handled and the warnings being issued after the 2 effective?
I thought it was appropriate, err on the side of caution.
Did you see any intent behind either of those 5 pitches, or is that just part of it?
Things happen in baseball, I mean, guys are trying to pitch in, guys are looking to make quality pitches. Trevino got Toddy to open the game when he was the opener in the game at our place, and he got him again today. And, I didn't feel real good, and just trying to make quality pitches and fight for the inner half part of the plate, and ball got away from Vasquez. So I understand that they have to do it at that point, and there wasn't any complaint from my side.
All right, so pause for a second.
Did you hear that? There wasn't any complaint from my side.
Ball got away from Vasquez is I have to say that because I don't want my guy to get suspended. I don't want, but when he said I have no problem with it, when he points out that, as you said, Trevino has gotten Tatis a couple of times.
Ball got away from Vasquez.
He is implying very much
Randy,
that this was what needed to happen and should have happened and was absolutely okay with it happening.
And again, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Massive credit goes to Fernando Tatis Jr. for taking 95 to the back and just walking down to first base. Massive credit goes to Shohei Ohtani for taking 94 in the knee and going, and then just walking down to first and hamming it up with Luis Arraez. Like, great job. It's over at that point. But I absolutely do agree. I had no problem with the warnings, and neither should Dave Roberts. He should have you don't even need to talk, Dave. You don't need to come out of the dugout to talk to get thrown out. There's Dave, how long you been in baseball? You knew damn well those warnings were coming. You don't need to go out there. You don't need to go out there and ice our pitcher anymore. Right? Like, the warnings are coming. You're warned. Okay, great. And if his whole beef is, well, great, now we don't get to hit anybody. You already did. You got warned because of what you did. Right? So There should be no reason for him to come out. None. And of course, he's got to come out. And the next thing you know, it's a big production of cats. And it's a whole big to-do. Hello, my baby. And he's pushing umpires and his hands behind his back. Performative trash. Performative trash. As usual from that guy. That guy sucks. I don't care where he went to high school. I don't care if his friends and family listen. He sucks. He sucks. I can't stand him.
We see this every year.
Every year with this guy. Every year. Now, to his credit, he beats our ass up and down the field. He beats our ass up and down the field. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I hope the players are tired of it because that crap. And then listen to him talk after the do you have his audio?
Yeah.
Listen to him talk after the debacle.
Yeah, just to kind of give an overview. Andy was hit last night. I feel he overreacted. We moved on. We ended up hitting a player, Tatis, unintentional.
Right.
In that spot, we don't want a guy on base, certainly him, bleeding into their guys in the middle part of the order. And then at that point in time, Shohei comes up with the base open, and Vasquez took one shot at him.
He did.
And then
let's pause there.
So I saw the first pitch. It was looked like a two-seamer that ran in, but let's not act like Randy Vasquez threw one behind him and missed. You know, we used to see that all the time. All right, here's my shot. Ball goes 6 feet behind him, and the batter looks out. He's like, well, there's your shot. And then they go at him again. This ball was a two-seamer running in. Ben, it didn't even come close to hitting Shohei. Not even close. The next one, he got him. So keep going.
Hit him again. And he
didn't hit him again.
Miss that bat.
He didn't hit him again. He hit him once
with the right-handed pitcher. So for me, it's, if you're going to do it, own it. And there's no misfire, right? And then I just felt that I didn't feel a warning on both sides was warranted.
Of course not.
Number
one. Because you never take
So
accountability.
Pause again.
So I just wanted to know
clearly.
Why would you not think a warning was warranted?
Clearly, I've had a good relationship with Dave over the years, but I do find that as manager of the Dodgers, he is very hypocritical,
massively,
when it comes to. You could just hear it in what he just said.
Right.
So he said, "Hey, the Padres had an open base. At first, the bases were empty when they hit Shohei Ohtani. So yeah, clearly they threw at him." You also had an open base at first. Martin Maldonado was at second. If you were ever going to hit Tatis, that's the perfect time to hit him. You've got a guy clogging the bases in front of him who's as slow as maybe anybody in Major League Baseball. You don't want to give him a chance to drive in the run or hit a 2-run home run. That's the perfect time to hit him. And you're saying, so in the exact same situation, obviously we wouldn't want to do that, but clearly the Padres do want to do that.
Right. Why would we want to put Shohei on base?
That's
Dave,
gaslighting.
Right? It's just gaslighting.
That's gaslighting, Dave. I mean, you can't argue the same thing on opposite sides. Our team would never do that, but of course their team did it on purpose.
It's so trashy, dude. And again, here's what it comes back to for me. It's the accountability. It's I'm going to make up a story about a guy hurling a ball at me, the sinister sling that almost killed me. And I'm going to go to Ken Rosenthal and have him write a piece in the playoffs. Listen, you want to call that gamesmanship? You want to call it whatever you want. And eventually it worked, right? It galvanized his team. It fired up his team, whatever you want to say. They also have really good players on that team. You made up a story to the media.
It was unsettling.
Yep. And you're going to get up and tell everybody, again, how you guys do it the right way.
There was intent behind it.
That's the leader of the team telling a BS lie.
That was very bothersome.
You never even saw it. He never saw it until later.
It's pretty disrespectful.
That's how scared he was. He says, I didn't see it. I saw the replay later. Well, you must have been terrified. So him getting up on his high horse again is what makes me insane. It makes me loathe him. It makes me loathe their fan base and loathe their team. They never take accountability, ever. And they preach it, but they don't take it. And they always point across the field. Buddy, your guy dotted my guy with 95 in the back. and my guy dotted your guy with 94 in the leg.
I
It's
think
over.
there's also a
over.
semantics game being played. Is there any difference in your mind between hitting a guy on purpose and throwing inside to the point where you don't really care if you hit him on purpose?
Right.
You maybe Dave can argue, hey, with the open base there, don't give him anything to hit. And if you're going to miss, make sure you miss way inside because that's the best place to miss on Tatis. The difference between that and throwing at a guy is essentially zero because the result is the same. You're throwing way inside to make sure a guy doesn't hit the ball, and then you hit him with 95-mile-an-hour sinker. That's throwing at a guy. Whether you called for it, like did you order the code red, Dave? I don't know if he ordered the code red and said, you have to go out there and hit Fernando Tatis in that situation. They were playing with wanton disregard of whether they hit Fernando Tatis Jr. in that situation. It's the same thing. It's the same result. There's an open base. You don't care, so you might as well just throw way inside. And if you hit him, you hit him. Why are the Padres supposed to, be respectful for that? The response to that is, yeah, you're going to throw inside to Shohei Ohtani. He doesn't hit us. Hey, we don't want him to hit a solo home run here. He does that a lot. It's a close game. It's a tie game in that situation. We're going to pitch him so far inside that, either, he's going to dodge it or he's going to wear one. Is that the code red or is that not the code red? I mean, we'll never know for sure.
And again, man, it's the warnings were issued. You knew damn well they were coming. And you had to come out and make a big deal out of it. You had to come out on your unicycle and your balls and your clown nose and no, look at me, guys, look at me. I need an explanation. You know the explanation. Your guy hit my guy hit your guy. It's over.
So let's continue instead of don't do this. Part 2 of the story is what happened later in the game when Jose Iglesias got hit and the umpires did not eject the Dodgers pitcher at the time. Mike Schilt had his response to that as well. We will hear about that coming up. And then Mudcat is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. You definitely do not want to miss one of Mud's rare appearances here with us on Ben and Woods. It is all coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Before we get to traffic, though, I want to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. It is summer, and I'm sure you're thinking, this is not a good time for me to try to lose weight. I've got barbecues. The kids are out of school. I don't eat the best during the summer. That is not true. I did the SDFatLoss.com program during the summer. I started it in June, I believe 2 years ago, and I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. And I had some barbecues. I had some cheat days. My counselor always kept me on track, though, kept the weight coming off. I lost up to a pound of fat per day, 10 to 20% of your body weight in 60 days. That's what you can expect without having to buy any shakes or bars. No fake food. It's all real food. You just get normal stuff that you're already getting at the grocery store. I ate a lot of chicken. I ate a lot of fish and steak, vegetables in the right times, right portions, and I lost weight fast. You can do it as well. No injections, no exercise. It's simply a sustainable program. This is the first program I've ever done where I've kept the weight off. 2 years now, have not gained a pound back. I feel so much better. I sleep better. My joint pain has gone away. It is amazing. Please don't let the summer stop you. Take advantage. Do it now. Take $200 off during their summer special, and you'll still be done by middle of August and feeling great while the hot weather is still here in San Diego. Check them out. Go online for a free consultation. SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right. Normally we'd get into Don't Do This here. I still will read the sponsor because that's always fun. Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. 2. Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Mike Schultz thought the umpires pulled a Don't Do This in the 7th inning. After the warnings had been issued to both teams following the 3rd inning hit by pitches of Fernando Tatis Jr. and Shohei Ohtani, both benches were warned. Dave Roberts was ejected. Nothing happened in the game until the 7th when Matt Sauer hit, leading off the inning, Jose Iglesias on the wrist. Hard on the wrist. Now,
all bone.
I don't think it was intentional.
Had no problem with it. Zero.
It was a pitch that got away. Jose Iglesias is not the guy that you're taking it out on in that situation. So in that sense, I totally understand. The umpires put some common sense 2 and 2 together and decided not to eject Matt Sauer. Mike Schilt wasn't happy about that decision. Now, he didn't run onto the field and yell, but he did say that he talked to the umpires and goes, you warned all of us. You said, hey, next guy who throws at a batter is going to get ejected. Right. And then you didn't toss him. You didn't toss him. Similar, and it was an up and in pitch. It wasn't a slider that hit his foot or anything like that. It was an up and in. Similar to last season when Mackenzie Gore hit, was it Tatis, and then they warned everybody right at the start of the game, and then he immediately drilled Profar, and then they didn't throw him out, and you go like, wait, what are we doing? Then Mike Schilt got ejected because he was so mad about that last season that he got to the umpires' faces and got ejected last year. Didn't get ejected yesterday, but I think the point that he wanted to get across, and it's fully valid, and Tony Gwynn Jr. made this point on television as well. When you issue warnings, you kind of take a tool out of the toolbox of pitchers. They can no longer pitch freely, knowing if they do let one kind of get away, they're going to get ejected. So, the Padres have potentially been, all right, having to be more careful, and then all of a sudden the Dodgers aren't careful, but there's no consequences to it. So in that sense, it doesn't quite, follow. You issue a warning, you issue threats, you don't follow through on those threats. what was the warning for in the first place? It was an empty threat by umpires.
Yeah, I mean, again, I really didn't think that was an intentional
No, I don't
pitch.
either.
Again, based on who was up at the dish, really, like I didn't think it was.
But the point of the warning is that we
Is
don't
to toss 'em.
we don't look at intent anymore. You know what? We could sit here all day long and try to determine whether you threw at a guy intentionally or it slipped. We'll never get inside your brain. We can't know, so we're going to make it simple. Once warnings are issued, you hit a guy, you're out of the game. So what? And Mike Schilt was asked after the game, so what's the point of warnings? And he said, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to follow through on your warnings, then does it matter if you issue warnings at all?
So there's no real point of warnings being issued then?
It's a good question. That's one of the things when the dust settled a little bit that I walked out and talked to Marvin and Ryan about. This is a good crew, veteran crew, that I respect all the crews, but it's a really good crew. And I just wanted to talk to him. I said, hey, is there going to be some discretion here on both sides? And that's what I said to Ryan. I said, Ryan, what do you got? He said, I didn't have it with any intent. You feel good about it? He goes, yep, feel good about it. I said, it doesn't taste great on our side. He goes, I don't blame you. He said, but I didn't see it. And the game didn't dictate any chance there. Now, that's when you want, you give the warnings. That's when, discretion is coming into play. And like I said, they made a decision, but I don't think it's absolute to say, if you're going to have a warning, 4 innings later, if there's some intent, obviously somebody's got to go, but that's their call. And didn't feel good on our side, but candidly understood it. We were on the other side of it last year. Thought it was definitely intent, and I got thrown out on the other side. So who knows on this game some days?
Who knows with this game some days? That does, that feels like it. Now, Sauer stayed in, of course, the very next batter. Trenton Brooks hits his first career home run. Congratulations to Trenton. Immediately surpasses the entire combined production of like 4 guys they had brought up earlier in the season from AAA to try to help the team in Tirso Ornelas, Luis Camposano, and Connor Joe, who combined for 1 hit the entire year, no home runs, and 1 RBI. So congratulations, Trenton Brooks. In 3 at-bats, you're already the most productive Padre to come from El Paso this season, essentially. Got the Padres within 2. They made it hurt both times. Tatis came around to score when he got hit. Iglesias comes around to score when he gets hit. After the game, Mike Schilt did say that the X-rays were negative, fortunately, on Jose Iglesias. I'm sure it's not going to feel very good today. He did come out of the game, but the X-rays were negative. Padres went on, of course, to rally in that inning. They loaded the bases. They scored on the Michael Kopech balk. But
that was wild.
With the tying runs at second and third and Xander Bogaerts up, he rolled over and grounded shortstop with a chance to tie the game with a single there in the 7th inning. And you wondered, was that going to be the last chance for the San Diego Padres?
Well, quickly, though, let's talk about Kopech for a second, because he's nasty. I mean, when his heater is when he's spotting up his heater, looks like a literal bullet, like a bullet from a gun. I thought Gavin Sheets, man, a lot of credit to him for AB he had earlier in the game. He swung the ball for.
He did.
And he had the 2-0 take, which I was like, if you're going to get one to hit, this is it. This is the 2-0 Gavin Sheets. If you can time this thing up, I mean, he almost hit a granny earlier. Like, the guy's seeing it well. I didn't like the auto take 2-0, and I certainly didn't like the 3-1 swing at ball 4 in the dirt. But again, with a guy like Kopech, he's so nasty. But he's all over the place too. He was absolutely all over the place.
Yeah, I hate going in too much on Sheets, or
Of
obviously not a great at bat there, but he has put together some really good at bats lately. He's turned it around and is back on the hot side. He's one of the guys that's actually helping the team right now.
Except when he does well, we lose those games.
That's true. Another good game for Sheets and another
happened the other night too.
And then Padres though got another chance in the 8th inning, loading the bases. They had second and third after the stolen bases, and they intentionally walked Fernando Tatis Jr. Interesting, what's the decision there? Do you walk Tatis? You got the tying runs at second and third. You got Arraez, though, who with a single had already had 3 hits in the game. He can tie the game up pretty easily. They decided to try Arraez, and it worked out as Anthony Banda got him to foul out to left field and end the threat, and that was the last chance the Padres had.
Do you see where they're playing him? They play Luis Arraez, Ben, like at fantasy camp when the guy comes up and who's 90. He's 90 years old. And you're like, hey, man, I'm playing short. Just play 5 feet behind me. They're playing him so shallow because they know, bro, we will take our chances with this guy that will swing at anything right now. And like you said, he had 3 hits. You see the pitches he got hits off of? Insane. Balls. I mean, they're balls, right? And
It's better on balls out of the zone than in the zone. It's really kind of crazy.
You take your chances with God, stop saying Xander. It's force of habit. You take your chances with Luis Arraez almost every time.
He's not going to hit
like
a grand
that.
slam that puts you behind.
No,
whereas
and
Tatis
really
can hit a 3-run home run. He hasn't lately, but he can.
And really, man, like not only is he not going to if he hits a single there, it's going to be they're going to get 1 run out of it.
Because they're so shallow.
They're so shallow. Yeah. You're going to get 1 run. So you play those odds and go, all right, if he hits one over my head, I'll wear it. If he hits one in the gap past me, I'll wear it. But for what he's been doing, he's going to flick one. They're going to score 1 time. And we can live with one.
And that's why people argue that Luis Arraez isn't that valuable of a player because he's too one-dimensional at this point. And if he's not winning batting titles, they're probably right. And, he hasn't had 3 hits, so, wasn't the problem yesterday. We'll talk about more, though. Mud Grant is going to join us for a Big League Wednesday. When we come back, you do not want to miss Mud. Stay here. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, listen, gang, if you're maxed out on credit cards or struggling with high-interest debt, you can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is incredible. We talked about the client. Got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off debt, renovated kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800 a month. That's a big, big turnaround. Feels like they're back on their feet. With instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull upfront. Loan Pronto, place to be. Your home's equity is yours. Use it to get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've got nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Service is off the charts. Call now. Start the conversation. 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. 619-207-4336. Or, again, get debt relief now at LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Unapproved credit. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
And Through the Fan is brought to you by Amazon. If you love local deals, you'll love this. Prime Day is lasting 4 days this year. That's 4 days of unbelievable deals in every category you can think of. So you can save big on everything you're into. Shop Prime Day July 8th through the 11th. We're going to go up to Los Angeles and talk to Mud Grant on a Big League Wednesday. Been working with Jesse the past couple of days in the radio booth. We'll talk about that as well right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This report is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Got a stall on the 5. It's on the southbound side at Oceanside Boulevard, and it takes out the right lane. Then the 54 West slows down right at Marmill Way. With another collision, the right lane is also closed. San Diego summers mean beach days, road trips, ball games. Make sure your ride's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive in, stay in your car, and be done in about 15 minutes. No appointment needed. For coupons, visit SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Sue Alley with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 93.7 The Fan.
So our next guest, I think, has a pretty high bar to clear. On Wednesdays, we do Big League Wednesday, and we try to find a different big league player every week, someone who's played Major League Baseball. And we didn't have one last week, so we sent out the call, just like, does anybody know a big leaguer who's listening? And we ended up getting the story of Tom Fordham, which was amazing.
Incredible.
Tom was great. Now at Grossmont High School, told the story about his only Major League win against Randy Johnson, the one at bat he took in the big leagues. It was incredible. We'll see if the great Mud Grant can live up to Tom Fordham's standards as he joins us from Los Angeles this morning. Hello, Mudley.
I'm sick and tired of Dave Marcus already.
Just been 2 days. I was gonna ask you, Mudley.
What's up, fellas? Hey, first of all, Tom Fordham, good egg.
Yeah,
good kid.
Good dude. Really good dude.
Love Tommy. He's great. Got to know him over the years. And thank you so much for having me come out and play with you guys this morning.
Oh, man, we're so happy to have you. I'm glad that you decided to do it early. We were going to shoot for later in the show, but he's like, no, I can do it at 7:30. I said, that's prime time. That's smart on your part, Mudley. But I wanted to ask you, how are you enjoying what I've been calling the Padres key party? Everybody throws their keys in a bowl, picks one out, and then that's who you broadcast. But they used to do it in the 70s, but it wasn't for broadcasting. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you're well aware of the key parties.
I've heard of that. Sure, absolutely. But it's been great. You're talking about the radio side.
Yeah, obviously the radio side.
You know what? I have had great respect for play-by-play guys through the years, growing up, growing up in the business, being in the business for a while, working with greats like Don and, of course, Jesse. And what they do, I sit next to those gentlemen each and every night. And I just am amazed at what goes on, because I, like all of us who love the game, love the business, love being in the business, always kind of wonder about what's it like sitting in that chair and doing, because, in my mind, I'll go through, what would I be saying right here? But it's a different animal, TV and radio all together. And it's just amazing to me how each job is totally different. I guess my bottom line, guys, is that when you sit next to somebody who does it and does it well, it's just, I'm in awe every night. Like a guy who's a perennial all-star, who hits 300 every year, who hits 30 homers, who drives in 100. it amazes me each and every year, and it amazes me each and every night to sit next to great gentlemen and play-by-play guys like Don and Jesse each and every night. So, but it's fun. It's fun. That's the bottom line. I enjoy it. I enjoy it thoroughly. And to sit next to those two gentlemen whenever I'm in each booth is a treat for sure.
Well, we love Tony Gwynn Jr., of course, but I think it's
Yeah,
nice
who
to get.
doesn't?
I think it's nice to get a little mud on the radio. I mean, just every once
Thank
in a
you.
while. So I enjoyed it, although it did lead to an awkward situation, which you couldn't have heard because you were doing radio on Monday night when Dylan C struck out the side in the first inning.
All down by way of the K.
Don goes to Tony. You know what that means? And Tony's just sitting there silent.
Shohei
Like, say anything.
Ohtani.
No, because I don't get
Silence.
to watch your television broadcast because I'm doing the radio game at the same time.
It was so good.
So Don just goes on the whole bit without
Mookie
you.
Betts. Silence.
Silence.
Freddie
Was
Freeman.
Tony just sat there. It was so good.
Yeah. Well, you know what that means, Tony? And Tony's like, well, yeah, we go to break, right?
Right.
Because we got like, there's 3 outs in an inning.
Yep. It was fantastic. Yeah, I found myself yelling at the TV. Say it. Say it.
Say it,
Tony.
Tony. Say it.
Hey, you got bits. The bits are fantastic. They're fantastic, Mudley. And there's somebody in the chat, I think is our buddy Baseball Nick, said Mud makes this team bearable. Yes, and I fully agree. All of you guys do, but you especially. Yeah, games like last night. Now, one of your bits that I've been hearing for years is, hey, we got that same pitch. And every time you say it, I go to Twitter immediately. I go, do we have that same pitch? Because I never see it. And I saw it last night from Randy Vasquez. And Mud, you've been in enough clubhouses and been around the game long enough to know he got some pats on the rear end last night, didn't he?
I think it went a long way. There's no doubt about that. And sometimes, sometimes, that fastball gets away from you. It's just,
Sure
you're
it
trying to
does.
hit your spot, and it happens. Anyway, I think a lot happened last night in that game. You could digest, and I'm sure you guys are talking about it. But yes, it goes a long way. And I am so proud of Randy Vasquez, not only for what he did last night, but hey, 2 home runs, and then he got the 3rd out. Bang! After that ball got away and hit Ohtani, and all the drama, almost a Jerry Springer show almost breaks out at Dodger Stadium. And he rebounds and gets out of it. So, hey, we are seeing progress from Randy Vasquez. But, hey, when you saw the tension on the field, when you saw the players on the Padres and Dodgers, especially the Padres in particular, top railing, Manny was on the field, a couple of other guys were on the field, Luis Arraez, I believe, was on the field. Hey, it's a thing, man, and you could feel it. And you don't want to see people get hurt. You don't want to see, melees out there, guys just, playing a game of Twister out in the middle of the field and somebody getting hurt. But hey, the rivalry is real, man. And it was tense last night, and it's a shame that the Padres lost game 2. But it's something that when you experience it, it brings a team together. There's no doubt about that. But getting back to your main point with what Randy, it goes a long way, man. And we are seeing progress right in front of our very own eyes. And it's good to see because the Padres are going to need it. They're going to need that guy in that rotation, like the Randy Vasquez once every 5 days, to shove when it's go time.
Talking to Mud Grant here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan, and I think you'd have a good perspective on this. What do you do when you're a relief pitcher? You've got your repertoire, whether it's 3 pitches, 4 pitches, and you go in and you realize I don't have a couple of them. We saw it with Jeremiah Estrada against Will Smith.
Yeah.
Just going with the fastball. I mean, you go with that. You
That's
try
just confidence.
You try to mix it up. I felt bad for kind of Jeremiah in that situation. Nearly won the battle. I mean, kind of did. Just that cross up didn't get the call, obviously, because Martin Maldonado couldn't hang on to the baseball. That was tough in that situation with the game on the line. What were you seeing there?
First of all, when Jeremiah Estrada comes into a ball game, I'm like you cats. Is that like, okay, this is going to be, if there's going to be a base runner, okay, fine. But we're going to see some swing and miss, and we're going to see a lot of foolish swings, and we're going to see guys just go up and down back to the dugout. See you later. And every pitcher experiences it. But when you see pitches thrown and he's not hitting, we know that he likes to throw, and he's not hitting his spots. We know he likes to throw the fastball up. He's got that chitter. We know that he's got the off speed, whatever. But when base hit, home run, single, it's like, a lot is going through a pitcher's mind, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, I need to make an adjustment. What's that adjustment? When you can't make the adjustment, now it's like, oh, well, if hopefully I throw a strike, and if he does hit it, hopefully he hits it right at somebody. But, a lot is being said when he can't land the secondary pitches. If you can't spot your fastball, when you throw 99, there's a chance that you could throw it around the plate, and chances are you're probably going to be successful, especially for a guy like Jeremiah Estrada. But when that's not working, it's getting hit. And then when you try to go to your secondary pitches and it's not landing, they're not landing, then it's a red flag. And every pitcher goes through it. And once again, it's a game where the Dodgers dropped a 5 spot. They did it in the first game, and this lineup is just too deep to where you can't make mistakes like that. And Dodgers took advantage of it, no doubt.
It's crazy. I mean, he's given up 7 earned runs in the last since mid-May or whatever. And they're all to the Dodgers. Oh, he gave up one of the Brewers as well. But that's it. And sometimes the team has your number. Sometimes the team gets a good look at you, whatever it may be, a lack of confidence from Estrada. I'm not really worried about him. I have a feeling that they'll go out and figure out an adjustment he needs to make. I wanted to ask you, though, you're around the team, Mudley, all the time. Xander Bogaerts is scuffling. He's been scuffling in his last 30 games, especially. And has played some decent defense at times. He's helping the team in that regard. He busted down the line, all that stuff. I get it. But what's his – I don't want to say what's his problem. I think that's a little pointed. What is the you're around him. What's the diagnosis? What's the diagnosis? What's he look like on a daily basis?
Well, first of all, we see these guys at the ballpark. Xander, maybe once in a while at the hotel, on the bus, whatever the case may be. Xander Bogaerts, when you approach him or he approaches you, because he is one of those guys. He will see you in the lobby. He will see you on the bus, and he'll come up and give you a fist bump. He'll ask you how you're doing. It's one of those guys to where if he's 20 for his last 30 or if he's 0 for his last 30, you don't know what Xander's going through because of his attitude. Hey, let's face it. He's been around the block many, many times. Grounded into double plays is no fun. If he's struggling at the plate, he's one of these guys to where whoever's struggling at the plate, you want to try to get a fastball early or an off-speed pitch in the zone and do some damage early. You want to avoid 2 strikes because, first of all, if there's a guy on, you don't want to run into double play. Secondly, you don't want to strike out. You want to try to get on base. But, hey, these are big league pitchers that he is facing. These guys have the analytics. They know if there's a pitcher out there that can execute against a guy like Xander Bogaerts, chances are with the way he's going right now, Xander's going to have to battle. But point one of your question is, you don't know if Xander's in a slump or if he's red hot. That's the one thing. But on the field, man, these guys are human beings. They struggle, and it's a real thing to where, like Jeremiah Estrada, right? Like last night, it crushes your confidence. I don't care if you're a rookie. I don't care if you're a 10-year veteran, man. These guys, they've got egos. They've got confidence. They want to do well, and when it doesn't happen, man, it's a real test of your fortitude of what you got. But Xander's one of those guys, man. Hey, tonight's the next night. Tonight's a new ball game. Got to go get them and then try to battle. That's the bottom. I know there's no secret formula, guys, but that's exactly what happens.
All right, Mud, got a couple minutes left here. And since you're on radio, I know you occasionally tune into the show from Alpine, but during the season, you're on the road a lot. So I don't know. Do you know about the Incorporator?
I do, and Jesse's one of the best at it. I do listen, and I've of course during a Tuesday game,
right?
I'm doing games and stuff, but I'm always curious to find out how he utilizes that.
Did you catch it last night? Yesterday. Jesse came on. Here was the setup where they work together.
I never heard this before.
Lickspittle.
I don't know.
Yes. It's the etymology is pretty self-explanatory with this word. It's part of a grand pantheon of English words for sycophants. All right, so it's a fawning subordinate, a suck-up.
So lickspittle was the word. Did you catch it last night? Paulie's got the play-by-play from the game last night.
This was in the 5th inning. Do you remember, Mud?
If you weren't with us, and if you haven't seen social media in the last hour, in the bottom of the inning, Shohei Ohtani was hit by a pitch. For Randy Vasquez, warnings were issued. Dave Roberts got very animated and was ejected. Here's the 0-1. And Fernando again fouls it off his back foot. Strike 2 to Tatis. Gave the umpires credit for handling it the way they did. Always want to be fair with those guys. Don't want to be hypercritical. Also don't want to be a lickspittle.
Unreal.
Call it like we see it.
Unreal. My God. Did you catch that last night?
Oh, I saw it. I heard it. And I snapped my neck. And I looked to my left, and Jesse was so locked in calling play-by-play that I looked at it and I kind of mouthed. I wanted to mouth it. I said, I point. Was that the Incorporator?
Yeah.
Was that the Incorporator? But he kind of just smiled at me, kind of gave me like a little bit of a thumbs up. But once again, man, the guy's a pro, man.
He's
He
a pro.
does it so well.
So well.
Does so well. Yeah.
Thank
It
you,
was
buddy.
fun. Yeah, for me, the incorporator is like ground ball. Like, oh, gosh, how can I use ground ball?
Yeah, Greg,
how can I use?
weave
Yeah,
that in.
don't give me an incorporator word, man. My head's gonna explode like that guy in Scanners if that happens.
You would be so worried about trying to get it in the entire
Your
game.
incorporator is hockey suit.
Yeah, hockey suit. Get that in.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
easy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's off a Padre bat,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it deflects into foul
The
territory into the
dugout
dugout,
somewhere.
and it's a double.
Yeah, hopefully it's a
Mud,
double.
I
Mud,
enjoyed
keep in touch
another
with
couple
yourself.
days on radio. That was really great to have you on this morning, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Hey, you guys are great. Thanks for letting me come over and play, and keep in touch with yourself.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you, buddy.
Mudcat Grant on a Big League Wednesday. It is so much fun to get to talk to that guy every once in a while. It's a pleasure to know Mud Grant.
It is.
He's just he's
They don't
a
make him like
genuinely
Mud.
fun human being. He's a good guy too. He really is. We'll be back.
halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with all of you. It's, not a victory Wednesday. It's an excruciating loss Wednesday. It's pretty cool. Been talking about Padres Dodgers all morning. Probably will continue to do so. Thank you again to Mud Grant for taking the time to jump on with us. Mud is a massively positive guy. Learned a lot from him over the years. I have, and it's hard to be positive. Baseball's a hard sport to keep it positive. There's so much failure in it. It's just hard. It's hard to keep it positive.
It's funny that you bring that up because it's something that I wanted to address this morning. Positivity. Because I got a text yesterday that spun me out big time.
From whom?
From you.
From me.
Yeah. Paulie also got it. And Paulie, do you agree with me? Can I read the text?
Sure.
Can I read it? Because I know you were having a tough day yesterday.
I was fine. I just had to poop.
I know. So we get this text 5:00 yesterday. What's text? Any ideas for literally anything fresh or exciting to break up the absolute monotony of our show right now?
Yes. What's the problem?
When I see that, and Paulie, back me up here if you can. I go into panic mode. I go, oh no, Woods is in his head and he's not happy, and that's never good for the show. I don't think the show is monotonous. Is there a routine to the baseball season?
Yes.
There is. And I'm okay with it, and I know you're not. And I want you to be happy. I want you to be a satisfied co-host over here. I want you to enjoy coming into work every morning. And I freak out when I think that you're like unhappy and not enjoying this job.
It's not unhappy. It's how do we get better? You know,
well, and I'm always in favor.
That's
I'm
really
always in favor of
Should
that.
I have phrased it differently?
Maybe.
Was it just too harsh?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It wasn't pointed at you guys. Like you guys need to do more.
Oh, I felt like it was.
I didn't take it like that at all.
I know a little bit.
It's not. It's it's what I said to you last week when we had this exact same conversation. Is I said I don't like coming in. Hey, so what did Woods eat for dinner? Here's Padres talk. Here, we'll reset. Here's to the round baseball. Then we'll reset with what did Woods do yesterday. Then we'll do take on Woods. Then we'll do some more Padres talk, and then we'll do the Reindl Report, and we'll get out of here. That's we're the Rolling Stones playing the same 40 songs and walking off stage, except there's only one Rolling Stone playing. Really, it's just my stories, and people are like, "All you do is talk about yourself." I'm like, "What choice do I have? I'm not going to come here and read the sports page." So that's what it was coming from. Like, hey, if there's any ideas, like fun pranks or anything that you have that pops in your head, now's the time to let it rip. You know, that's it. I feel like we used to be more irreverent. We used to do more things, and I don't want to lose that. I want to stay creative. And, when don't forget what are Woods kids up to, right? Like, I get it, but I just need more. I need more. That's all I'm saying. If you have an idea for a bit, now's a good time to flesh it out. Is pretty much it.
You don't really love my ideas.
I don't actually. And every time I ask you, I then wonder, why did I ask you?
Maybe that's why I get so spun out, because then I feel like, okay, I'll throw out some ideas, which will then be shot down immediately, like I'm some sort of, you're on some sort of duck hunt. You flush me out my idea right
as
now.
As soon as I see him start rolling
instantly,
I go, oh no.
You know what? Never mind. The show's great.
I go, oh, what did I do? Why did I do this? And God bless you, because you try. You try. And I figure maybe there's something that I can pull a thread from, and run with it. But listen, it's okay. It's the mind of a creative that is not creative.
I do think that our baseball team is partially responsible.
Big time.
That's what I said. I wrote back. My response was, what we really need is a freaking win tonight.
Yes.
That changes so much.
Look, here's the thing, Benny. You know how passionate I am about radio. And I am in this show and our audience so much. This is our baby, right? This is our baby. When I drive around town and I flip on the other radio stations and I hear what's going out over the airwaves, and I go, I don't want to fall into that trap of just here's some prep service stories and here's some schlocky stuff and let's go from there. I want to do things a little bit different. Yeah, Tyler says like changing my stance every AB a little bit. I do have some of that in me. There's no doubt, but it's only because
I may lean the other way. I am like determined not to make any changes because I think I value the consistency because people do
and I do too.
Count on some of the consistency. We moved Take on Woods an hour at the beginning of the year. You'd think that we interrupted people's like lives when we did that. So I'm always very cautious about making any like major changes, which we haven't, and we weren't talking about doing it.
No, that's not even
but
what I
think
meant.
For me, it's our baseball team because it's the same issues every day. It's the bottom of the lineup. They need to make a move.
Yeah, it's the dead horse every day of like, what are we gonna do about Xander now? Like, who are we gonna go get in left field?
It might be more interesting if we thought maybe AJ disagreed and like, no, we're good. This is the team. He does it. He wants to find someone. I keep seeing people shout, make the trade for Taylor Ward now. The Angels aren't going to trade him. They're still in the wild card race. They would be absolutely just torched by their fans if they traded away a productive player while they're still in a playoff race. They can't do that. I mean, you could try to overpay massively, but that would also be dumb to overpay massively for someone like Taylor Ward, who's really not that good.
Right.
Yeah, he's better than what you have right now, but it's never smart baseball to massively overpay for mediocre players. So I get why AJ Preller doesn't want to do that. The only players that are available are mediocre, and they want a massive overpay for them. So he's going, I know that's not right.
I got to
right
wait.
Thing to do. So I've got to keep waiting. And, hopefully my team will not, fall too far back while we're doing that. But he knows they need to make a move. We all know this. And now we're just sitting in this limbo where we're waiting for it to happen, waiting for the changes that inevitably need to come.
Hence why I wanted to try something different, right? That's kind of the impetus for it, is like, hey, if we have a good bid idea, and Carl just said pranks are tired also. I disagree. Like Ben reading Pound Town was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Now
Pound Town,
you can't do it every day. But now's the time with the team, in a bit of the doldrums, kind of. Again, it's the same issues every single day, talking about, who you need in left, backup catchers. Do we need to go get a starter? Do we need to bolster our bullpen, right? It is the rhythm of the baseball season. I do get a little antsy sometimes, but yeah, it's really at the end of the day, it's because I care and want the show to be great, and I feel like it can be better. So that's it. That's what it boils down
I'm glad that you are passionate about the show and about radio.
Once I stop,
I really am.
Once I stop sending those texts,
that's when you really should worry.
I'm over. It's over. When I stop sending them, I'm done. I'm playing out my stretch. That's it. Once I stop, it's like a guy at the end of his career, maybe, and he's like, this dude doesn't even take BP anymore. He's just cashing the checks. So as long as I'm sending those texts, that means I'm still engaged, and that's what I want to be. No. But anyway, no, like I probably came about it the wrong way, as I often do. I was just feeling frustrated, and you said back, I sensed your frustration today. I was frustrated yesterday because I was going to soil myself at any second, and I felt like I was going to either vomit on the keyboard or crap my pants. So that was my frustration yesterday, was I can't even focus right now because I was sick. I did not feel well. So anyway, yeah, it's all good.
The Padres could make a move right now. Jim Bowden from The Athletic had 6 trades he'd like to see, like today. Here's what he proposed for the Padres. White Sox trade Luis Robert Jr. to the Padres for left-handed pitcher Cash Mayfield, outfielder Kavares Tears, and infielder Cobb Hightower.
That's way too much.
That's what I thought too.
Way too much.
You're already taking on a bad contract of a bad player, and you're giving up 3, really 3 of your best prospects behind Leo DeVries and Salas.
We know you're not picking up his option for $20 million the next few years. We know that.
Why would you give up that much for Luis Robert?
I got an offer for you. How about Luis Campusano and Cobb Hightower? That's more in line to get a Luis Robert, who's having a god-awful year. God-awful. I believe in a change of scenery. I do. I think he'd be a decent fit here.
The problem is, if you'd make that trade for Luis Robert Jr., or even a lesser trade, and you take on his remaining money, that's it. I mean, I don't know that the Padres, they can add a little bit of payroll, but they can't unlimit. They can't just keep going and trading for players until they get the right one.
But we've heard that
they've got to be right about this.
We've heard in that building that the salary crunch is overblown, was the quote that we both got in the same room. It's overblown. We can spend money. So I'm going to hold them to that.
I think they have about 10 million or so up to the next threshold, like the second or third tier or whatever it is, the luxury tax. I can't see them wanting to go over that. There's more penalties. It's dumb to try to go that high. If you take on Robert, that eats up pretty much everything you can add.
What is he worth now? $6 million?
Half of a season. He's making, what was he making this year?
I'm about to pull it up. Spot track is down.
Oh, everyone's doing the same thing.
15.
So you bet about 7.5,
Sure.
8 right now. If you trade him for 8, that pretty much puts you right on the cusp of the next
20 next year.
luxury tax level.
It's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that they're only willing to go up $10 million because of the luxury tax.
That $10 million is usually plenty to add whoever you want. But if you just Robert, that's most of that. That's most of that salary.
David J says it's been really tough to figure out how Jim Bowden hasn't been able to find a job in the game for 16 years.
His name is rumored with every GM opening.
Is
job.
it?
I swear to God, I hear it.
I don't even hear.
Like he's like trying to get back.
He's trying. Yeah, I'm sure.
No,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
he's not. I don't think he's ever been close.
Hey, just a little. I was a recruiter. My first piece of professional advice: change your haircut. Nobody's going to hire a guy that looks like that. All right, I'm telling you right now. Nobody wants to hire Lloyd Christmas as their general manager. Okay.
We all like
Mark
the Athletic.
Davis
They've got
ass.
they've got good
You can do it
content.
you can do it as an owner. As an owner, you can do whatever.
Yes.
Peter Seidler used to walk around in robes and stuff. You're like, oh, all right, whatever, man. You're kooky billionaire owner. If you're just a guy trying to get back in the game, you can't walk in with a bowl haircut and anybody take you seriously in the year 2025.
Peter Seidler can walk into a job interview in his pajamas.
It doesn't matter.
Jim Bowden, not so much.
Peter Seidler showed up at the radio station where Paul works. He was in a robe.
Yeah.
He's in a robe. You can do it if you're a kooky billionaire. You cannot do it if you're trying to get a job and you're on television. Like, yeah, this is my look.
That was the first time I met Peter. I was like, what the hell?
Nobody's taking that guy. He walks in, he sits down, and all I would be staring at is be like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Something wrong? So yeah, yes, there are moves you can make, but that's a huge
That
overpay.
would be a huge overpay.
It's a huge
And
overpay.
that wasn't even the funkiest content from The Athletic. Did you see the piece yesterday in which they used some analytics they analyzed every full MLB season for the last quarter of a century to determine the 5 teams that actually have a chance to win the World Series this year?
Yeah, this was so weird.
And the 5 teams did not include the LA Dodgers, did include the San Diego Padres. By process of elimination, they went through all the statistical categories that determine the same, like what DNA of every World Series champion. And there's only 5 teams that fit the bill. It's the Astros, the Cubs, the Tigers, the Yankees, and the Padres. Not the Dodgers.
That's so weird.
Not the Giants, not the Mets, but the Padres are in that mix, that they meet all the statistical requirements
That is so
of a World Series champion.
So weird.
But the Dodgers do not. That is some interesting math that they've got going on in this piece yesterday.
Yeah, the math
by Neil Payne.
The math isn't really mathing on that one, Benny. Well, I apologize if I spun you out. Trying to think of, did you have any good ideas in that text thread?
You didn't like any of the ideas that I threw out there. I tried to throw out some ideas.
You did, and I'll give you credit for that.
But you didn't really like any of them. So we moved on. I feel like my role is more facilitating your ideas. Like I try to be a good sport.
How convenient.
But hold on. Being a good sport is a very important part of this job.
It is.
You've worked with other people who weren't quite as good sports.
It's true.
You like working with a good sport, don't you?
I do.
I'll admit that wacky, zany creativeness is not my strong suit.
It doesn't have to be wacky. That's the other thing.
It doesn't?
No.
I was trying
Doesn't
to
have to be
focus in on
wacky
zany.
or
He's trying to channel his inner Howard Stern.
No, I just, something in that's happening. Something that happened to you. Like I sent you guys a picture. I don't like taking pictures of strangers in public, and I didn't share it, but I sent it to you guys. But I told you what happened to me. I sent you guys the picture on Saturday. Take the boys down to my beloved Jersey Mike's. And it was 12:30. And I go, oh my God, look inside, guys. There's no one here. And I saw this dad and his son walking, and they were looking at us, and I'm looking at them. This was going to be a race to the front door. Right. And they beat us because I had to get Taylor out of his car seat. And I'm like, come on, let's go. Get up to the door. He's up there. I go, that's fine. Just guy and his son. 2 sandwiches, right? Max. One for me, one for
probably
my
a
kid.
mini.
Probably a plain mini sandwich for the kid.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Plain number 7. Mustard only, just like my kids eat. So I'm up there, I'm waiting. I set my kids down. I grab their chips. I'm all dialed in. Take a picture. Send it to you guys.
Yeah.
He's on his phone. He's on his phone. He's ordering 6 sandwiches over the phone. Hello? Yeah. So what's the one you want? Is that the 20? Oh, you want the grilled portobello sandwich? In my mind, I go, I've never seen anybody order that.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Oh, yeah.
And I'll do that.
Let me ask. Do you want it Mike's way?
It's exactly it. Probably the whole 6 sandwiches. And I'm sitting there, and that's
What's Mike's way again?
It's those kind of things that they're like the day-to-day occurrences that happen to us. I
Now,
know
he
that
could say, would you like to go in front of me? I got a large order, but eventually you're going to have to go and someone's going to be behind you. So I do. And I totally know that feeling where you pull in front of like somewhere you're going to order and another car pulls into the same time and you realize, oh, we're racing to the door because I want to be first in line in front of whoever this is that's going to order.
Yeah.
And you lost the race.
I did. I lost the race. And then I got it always happens to me. Get stuck. Oh my God. Went to the grocery store 2 days ago. The grocery store. Went down to Sprouts.
Oh my God.
Go to the front. There's a guy in front of me. Sharp guy, handsome dude. Gets about $80 worth of stuff. He goes, oh, forgot my debit card. I'm just gonna run to my car and get it. And I'm in line. And I was actually in a really calm, good mood. I said, no. She goes, I'm so sorry. And he goes, hey, I'll be right back. And I go, no problem. I was calm as could be. And I sat and I chopped it up with her for a minute. And I waited. And I waited. I watched him walk to his car. There were vans and stuff in the way. So he disappeared. My dude never came back.
Oh my God.
He never came back. Never. He never came back. So now I'm sitting there for 8-9 minutes and I'm going, is this guy get off on this? I'm going to order a bunch of stuff. Then I'm going to run out to the car. He looked like a totally normal guy. Now, again, could have forgotten his wallet, his phone, whatever. I have no idea what was going on. He never came back. Well, then
at some point, you've got to pull the ripcord on the order.
Right. And so she calls the manager. Manager comes over. Now they're chewing it up, chopping it up together. And I'm like, now we're bordering on 15 minutes of being in the same line. They still haven't scanned me. Never showed up. This stuff happens to me all the time. It's things like that. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. I don't need you in here in a gimp mask all the time. It's
Happened
fun.
to me
It's fun
last time I was at the grocery
sometimes.
store. I was second in line and I guess third in line because there was one woman in between us, but the woman that was at the register paying for her groceries pulled the, oh, wait, what is that one again? Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I'm just going to run down to the dairy section and swap them out.
The dairy, which is the ass end of the store.
And the woman in front of me just turns to me and I got an AirPod in. I'm listening to music or whatever. And I'm already rolling my eyes. And she goes, this happens to me all the time.
All the time.
And I'm like, yeah. And
You're like, I got a buddy. Huh? I got a buddy.
I literally was like, I got a buddy. I promise he's worse.
It's everywhere I go.
But I'm like, what do you do? Like, I had stuff on the conveyor belt already. I could have thrown it all back into the cart and then moved to a different aisle. But you're just like, lady, I don't care if you wanted pineapple juice and accidentally grabbed orange juice or something. Like, figure it out.
You can check out and then go get whatever you need and then get back in line and check out again. Or go through the self-serve line for one thing.
Oh, I can just go grab it. I'll be really quick. I'm like, you're not going to be really quick.
CWF says, Woods wants morning zoo. I don't want morning zoo. I don't like morning zoo. I just like to have the reality. This is a reality show. You know, that's what this is. So I want reality.
My reality is a lot calmer than your reality, though.
It's not.
I think it is.
It's not.
Sometimes.
It's not. It's not. You have a crazy life.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods. If you
here
want
we
to
go.
join
Take
us.
on Woods. Me. Here we go again.
Take on Woods is actually a Ben segment.
Do you guys watch the Netflix show Tires?
Haven't.
No, I haven't even heard of it.
So Shane Gillis is in it. First season was not that funny. The second season is really funny. And there's a episode I watched last night, and it's called Radio Spot. These guys go into a morning show, a morning zoo, something in Squirter. They call the guy the Squirter. And it is that clip, and they do full morning radio zoo. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So check it out. Yeah, it was just like that. So just as an aside, check it out. It's pretty good.
All right, Tires.
All
right, Take on Woods, 833-288-0973 as the morning zoo rolls on.
Here
with
we
Ben
go.
Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I wonder if you could leave to maybe one of your beloved ones the role of San Diego's concierge.
I could.
In your will. You can set that up at trustandwill.com. We did it over the holidays. Neither of us, approaching 50 years old, had really bothered or wanted to think about it. And I'd imagine a lot of tier ones have the same thought. Hey, I'll do it when I'm 55. I'll do it when I'm 60. You don't know when your time is up. And if you go and you haven't left a specific plan, if you haven't put your assets in a trust, you could leave your family in a world of hurt, facing probate court, facing months of delays and huge, huge expenses and fees that could have been easily avoidable if you'd just taken 20 minutes to go to trustandwill.com. Come on, just do it.
Yeah, listen, you're gone. The last thing you want is your family. They're going to be mourning you, hopefully. And you want to make sure that things are in order for them. So very simple. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN, F-A-N, when you check out. You'll get 20% off. And they will ship you your estate documents for free. You will get those documents, notarize them, put them in the desk, and you're done. You're done.
I don't want to make you feel bad, but at some point you should start feeling kind of bad if you haven't done it.
Yes.
You don't need to go to a lawyer. You don't need to leave your house. You get the documents in the mail. You put them in the filing cabinet. You're done. Just get it done today. Go to trustandwill.com. Use that code FAN. Get 20% off free shipping of your estate documents at trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I'm a little disturbed that you think Take on Woods is another Woods segment. You literally have to do 60 seconds every day for Take on Woods. And you get a little break where you get to go out and sit on the couch while we're playing the first half of the game. I have to come up. It takes me a long time with all the questions. Paulie has to put together all the music and the 2-second songs. This is a Paulie and Ben segment with a tier 1. You just enjoy yourself.
It's a Paulie and Ben segment starring
Stephen Woods. We're trying to make you look good here.
Who invented it?
I don't even remember.
It was me.
You invented Take on Woods?
Of course I did.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've been putting it together for 3 years now to make it work. And it's time to make it work again. Let's play Take on Woods.
Got to do better than yesterday.
Take on Woods is brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. Woods doesn't even know it's sponsored because he's never here at this point. He leaves the studio. Let's go to line.
He could be getting paid for all that sponsorship money, and he has no idea.
He has no idea. Let's go to line 1. Is this Martin?
Yep.
Martin, would you like to play some Take on Woods?
You sure would.
All right, let's do this.
I heard we. Who you got with you?
I've got Hudson and Hayden.
What's up, guys?
Good luck to all 3 of you. Now, you can't take them both to Las Vegas with you, but if you do beat or tie Woods, you'll qualify for the 2-night stay at Resorts World, 2 spa passes, and food and beverage credit to any of their 5 pools. I guess you could take them both if you wanted. You just can't take them both to the spa. If you
I'm sending them. I'm staying home alone.
Sounds good. If you want to book your own vacation or their vacation, just go to rwlasvegas.com. All right, you get to go first in our game and pick our category, 5 questions of musical trivia. Your choices are Across to Bear, 5 song titles and artists, including the word cross. I Know That Dude, 5 song titles that are one-word guy names. And our new category, On a Roll. Those are 5 2-second songs whose titles begin with roll. So Across to Bear, I Know That Dude, or On a Roll. Martin, what's it going to be?
Let's go with I Know That Dude.
I Know That Dude. Okay. Today, again, we're looking for 5 song titles. They're all one-word guy names. So one-word answer every single time, except for the 2-second song, which goes first. You need to give me that song title and the artist to score the point. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it. You get 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. All right, Martin, you ready to play?
Yep.
All right, Paul, you good to go? All right,
Ready.
60 seconds on the clock. The category is I Know That Dude. Martin, your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Daniel.
By?
Pass.
ABBA asks, do you hear the drums in which 1975 song?
Fernando.
Correct. Michael Jackson performed which song for a 1972 movie about a boy and his pet who forms an army of deadly rodents?
Pass.
Which 1991 Pearl Jam single is about a boy who committed suicide in front of his English class?
Jeremy.
Correct. Which 2000 Eminem hit samples lyrics from Dido's Thank You?
Pass.
Go back to our 2-second song. You've got Daniel. Who's it by?
Elton John.
Correct. Michael Jackson performed which song for a 1972 movie about a boy and his pet who forms an army of deadly rodents?
Crap. Can't remember that. Pass.
Which 2000 Eminem? Oh, we ran out of time. We did get 3. Daniel by Elton John. Fernando, do you hear the drums? And Jeremy. Ben the Rat is Michael Jackson. And
Ben
Stan is the Eminem song. All right, let's bring Woods back in. Stay on the line, Martin. Your score of 3 is locked in. How's your phone? Good? Out there?
It's great.
Good. All right.
Just punching in some ideas.
All right. Martin's score is locked in. Woods doesn't get the category. 60
Martin?
seconds. Martin. 60 seconds on the clock. You also had Hunter and
Hudson and Peyton.
Hudson and Peyton
In
with
the
him.
car?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. 60 seconds. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Martin.
Daniel by Elton John.
Correct. ABBA asks, do you hear the drums in which 1975 song?
Pass.
Michael Jackson performed which song for a 1972 movie about a boy and his pet who forms an army of deadly rodents?
Ben.
Correct. Which 1991 Pearl Jam single is about a boy?
Jeremy.
Correct. Which 2000 Eminem hit samples lyrics?
Stan.
Correct. ABBA asks, do you hear the drums In which 1975 song?
Come on. You know this.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Ted. Do you hear the drums, Fernando?
Oh, is it Fernando? No
Yes.
kidding. I didn't know.
You did get 4 and a narrow 4-3 win over Martin and company today on Take on Woods. Martin, thank you for playing.
Sorry, Martin.
That category is called I Know That Dude.
I know that dude.
Daniel, Fernando, Ben, Jeremy.
I know him.
Oh, I know
Stan.
him. Ben, the rat song.
The rat song. It's about a rat movie. I haven't seen that. Have you seen the movie?
I think I did when I was little.
I've never seen the movie. I didn't even know it was from a movie.
You
Apparently,
wanna-
yeah.
Who wants to watch a movie about a rat with your name?
Your name on it.
Someone's like, what year was that? 72?
It was like a cute
72.
Little, it was like a cute little dog. You'd be like, I love Ben.
It was a sequel to another movie about a rat.
Was it?
That came before it. Yes. And it wasn't even Michael Jackson wasn't the first. They wanted someone else to sing the song. They turned it down and they gave it to Michael Jackson. I was stunned when I learned a little bit more about that.
Willard, the rat.
Willard was the original. Willard
right.
was the first one, and then Ben was the sequel.
Yeah. If it was a cute dog movie, you would have seen it.
Right.
But it's because it was a rat. You're like,
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
not watching-
Benji many times.
Benji,
growing up.
right.
Benji's about a cute dog.
I'm not watching
Ben
this
is
turd.
about a killer rat with a killer rat army.
Forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out. All right. Thanks. Nice,
All
to,
right.
nice to get a dub.
All right. Paulie has made the dangerous suggestion
I know.
You're out of your mind.
Maybe.
of
yeah.
opening
Hey,
up the phone.
you wanted to
lines
break up the
on this
monotony.
day.
Hey, you wanted ideas.
You wanted this, buddy. You wanted this.
Padres
You
fans,
wanted it.
Tier 1s. What do we do here?
You wanted it more than I did.
I feel like we've definitely hit a pivot point here. The season can go two ways. They can stabilize, turn themselves around, still make the playoffs. Who knows what can still happen? Or they can snowball, they can bury themselves, and this season can end up being a big disappointment.
So call to air your grievances on
833-288-0973. What do you want to see happen? What are you looking for here?
I mean,
realistically,
should I answer the questions for you?
Realistically, what can
we
they
need to
do
bring
right
in a
now?
left fielder. We need to bring in a catcher. Need to get a starting pitcher. Got to find out what's up with you and King. Xander's got to play better. Crowley's got to play better.
It's a lot of problems.
Luis Arraez got to play better. I just don't know that if we're going to glean any more info. But I'm willing to take the shot. I do want to hear from the tier ones. I always like talking to the
tier ones are smart.
I get
Tier
it.
ones have ideas.
I get it.
833-288-0973. That is coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, believe you me, I'm not talking about anybody in particular other than myself. But when my wrists were hurting me, I went to QC Kinetics and I talked to them about their revolutionary treatments that are going to work to give your body long-term relief. Now, I don't know that my wrists will make it, the length of a contract, like 8 years or something, but so far, so good. Been a couple years since I got treatment on my wrists at QC Kinetics, cellular level treatments, of course. And now I am stronger than I've ever been. I'm lifting more weights than I've ever lifted. I'm playing baseball. I'm playing golf. I'm picking up my kids. I'm playing the guitar, all the things I love to do that you need your hands to do. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people. So many of them right here in San Diego. They'd be honored to help you as well. They got 2 different locations, one in Torrey Hills, one in Hillcrest. They don't mask the pain. They go after the very source of it. And imagine being able to say goodbye to the chronic pain in your wrists, your knees, your shoulder, your back. All you have to do is call them. Find out if you're a good candidate. Consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN. That is 619-614-PAIN. It is QC Kinetics.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, we may be out of fresh ideas for the Padres, but the Tier 1s seem very eager to have their piece heard because our phone lines are jammed already. 833-288-0973. You're not going to get through right now. I can tell you this segment of Ben and Woods brought to you by Staples. Why don't we check traffic, and then when we come back, we will take a few phone calls with Padres fans from the Tier 1s on what this team can possibly need to do at this point. That's coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This report is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Got a crash on the northbound side of the 15 at Friars Road. It's off on the shoulder, and southbound loaded up by Via Rancho Parkway with another collision. The 805 northbound at Governor Drive, exit 24. There's a stall. San Diego summers mean beach days, road trips, ball games. Make sure your ride's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive in, stay in your car, and be done in about 15 minutes. No appointment needed. For coupons, visit SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Then we get some ideas from Sue Aller a little bit later on what the Padres should do as well. Fresh person, fresh ideas. That's what we're looking for. Fresh ideas. Do you have any of them out there? Let's go out to the phones. I got Rob in El Cajon. Rob, good morning. Welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Good morning.
How are you, buddy? You sound
I'm doing good.
You sound exasperated, and I
a little defeated.
I like that about you already. I knew this was going to be a good call. As soon as he goes,
"Good morning, guys."
Good morning.
I grew up in Oklahoma watching Oklahoma Sooners football, and one thing they had that the Padres don't have is swagger.
We had it.
They expect to win every year. They expect to win a championship, and I think we got a team that can do it. There's a few holes, sure, but swagger doesn't seem to be there.
You did you grow up like in the Barry Switzer days?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Nobody had more swagger than those guys. They knew they were showing up, they were going to kick your teeth in. And you listen.
Now they've won one title in the last 40 years, correct, Rob?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're
But they have
starting to
swagger.
see, we're starting to see it with the Thunder a little bit, but I'd like to see it with the Padres.
A little bit more swag.
So
I like
thanks for the call, Rob.
That's a fresh idea. Let's not mock.
I wasn't expecting that.
Remember when the Padres got criticized for being too swag? They had a swag chain. They had an entire chain full of swag. I mean, it was team swag, and we always wondered, was there enough substance behind the swag?
They kind of originated this new wave of swag in
correct.
baseball.
And now they have substance for sure, and they've got some grinders in there, and they talk about the grit squad and all that. But yeah, there is. They don't. Somebody, I think it was our beloved Family Man Bro, who's just such a great follow on X. He tweeted, "Where's this guy?" And it was a montage of Xander Bogaerts in Boston. And you would have thought, Ben, that guy was. I mean, like all he lacked was like a supermodel on each arm. He was walking around like the king of Boston at the time. And you look at him now. You don't see any of that. You see no confidence.
But the last thing you want is to see a player who's, hitting 200 to be walking around with tons of confidence and swagger.
No,
right?
That's the first thing I want to see.
You want that.
Yes. And I think that's the way out. I think that's how you have to act. Manny, when Manny's hitting 200, does he ever look any different? No. Or if he's hitting 400, does he look different?
He
Not
doesn't.
really. He's
We
the
saw
same guy.
Tatis in his slump. He hit the home run. He didn't even do his stutter step that one time because he didn't feel swaggy enough. Do they need to lean more into just confidence and swagger?
I'd love to see a little bit more confidence from the guys. I would. I think Manny still has it. He still does it. Last night, the waving out the fake bug in front of his face. That's swagger. When he took the walk, stopped, slowly he feeds off of the
blowing
blues
a bubble while fielding a ground ball, all of that. That's part of it.
Yeah, I don't think Tatis lacks for inner swagger. Manny doesn't either. Jackson Merrill doesn't. He's gone right now. Those three, I think,
there's some swag there.
Are the main providers of swag on the team. Arraez can have a little bit. We haven't seen anything really from Xander.
This is good. Satan's Blowfish says baseball's got to be one of the only professions where someone can make millions and feel humiliated. You're absolutely right. Unless you're like a professional cuck or something. I don't know if you can make millions doing that, but. I mean, it is like Xander Bogaerts makes $25 million a year. He got that money for a reason. I know we overpaid him, but we didn't overpay him by $24 million. He's not a $1 million player that we overpaid by $24 million a year. He got there for a reason. So however you got to get it back.
I wonder if the money weighs on him a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to give it back, but it might weigh on him a little bit. All right, that was pretty good first call.
I like that call.
Oklahoma. Let's go to line 3. Who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's your name?
My name is Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
I'm in Ventura County right now. Born and raised San Diego, though. My whole prerogative on this is that they either need to make a decision. They either need to go make some moves to go try to win this year, or they need to not. They need to trade away. It's one of the two.
So it's funny, though, that
indecisiveness.
You say that I think what Tyler, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I do feel like this is the way it works. If they wanted to trade away, they could start today. If they wanted to unload, they could call and say, hey, listen, Dylan hasn't been this. He's going to walk. You want him. We can get a little extra from you because you're going to get a little bit more time than the deadline. A couple extra starts for sure. You love his stuff. Maybe you guys can, get him right. You could do that today. The problem is, hey, we need a left fielder. Okay, well, this is what we want. And we know you need a left fielder. So we're going to ask for 3 of your top prospects. Well, we don't want to give 3 of our top prospects for a guy like Luis Robert. So only one of those things I feel is something you can do now. Now, the Rafael Devers situation was a different one entirely, right? The Giants landed Rafael Devers because of tumultuous behavior in Boston. So they got him, a good move, hit a double last night. They did lose, but he's going to fit in that lineup really well.
Took on a lot of money.
Took on a lot of money to do it. And I don't think the Padres are in that type of position.
Well, and I think Tyler brings up an important point, though. When do you have to make a decision?
Well, you have to make a decision by the deadline.
Correct.
Right.
We're not there yet.
We're not,
but you
we're
also,
close, but
you
we're not
also
that
can't
close.
let yourself get so far out of contention that
Correct.
there's no, then the decision's made for you.
Then it's made
if you
for
wait
you.
too long. Now, they have not done so. Last year at the All-Star break, which is still a month away, they were out of playoff position. They were 50-49 at the All-Star break, and they went on and had a huge second half and cruised into the playoffs with 93 wins.
Yeah.
that's certainly not out of the question this year, and it doesn't require you to make a move right now. They have not fought. I mean, we're kind of acting as though they're looking up like 7-8 games out of a playoff spot. They're currently in a playoff spot right now, so it's certainly not too late to make a move now.
But I don't feel like we're overreacting.
The question is, how long can you wait? I mean, is it when you get 5 games out? When you get 3 games out? I mean, when is it become the point where if we don't do something soon, we don't even have the luxury of making a decision anymore? It's been made for us.
I personally think we're here. We're at that point. I think that they're still in contention because of a 14-3 start. Ever since then, it has not been good, and you got to make some moves.
Yeah, below 500 since that time. So
now you gotta look at the whole season. I get it, but that's the reason that we're not in a complete free fall and out of a playoff spot, looking up at half the National League.
You got
off to a great start.
14-3 will ease a little bit of pain, which is good. We challenged them to do it. They did it, and we're challenging them to stay afloat. They have done it. Losing 2 to the Dodgers magnifies things. It just does, because you look at that lineup and you go, oh my God, it's relentless and a good bench. They got guys coming off the bench, Ben, that you'd kill for. Absolutely kill for, other than maybe Miggy Rowe. But other than that, man, you got guys coming off their bench that can scare you. They have some options. So, yeah, you look at them, you look at the Giants, and you go, well, they didn't scare me much a week ago. They scare me a little bit more now. Their lineup looks doubly good with Rafael Devers in the 3-hole. It really does. And they're going to get Chapman back and all that. So it takes pressure off Chapman, takes pressure off Adames. It's a really, really good move for them. But, yeah, man, it was a really uncertain offseason. I mean, remember how uncertain everything was in the offseason? Then we finally meet talk to at least the point person, John Seidler. Haven't really heard from him since. Don't really know kind of what the plan is. We're all speculating on what they can and can't spend, what they can and can't take on. It's not a fun place to be, and you find yourself spiraling, going, we don't have anybody to come up and fill these spots. We don't have anybody to really trade to go get guys, so it's tough. And I don't know how much money we can take on. And you start feeling that, and you start dooming a little bit. And I
really
think
need some clarity on the pitching front too.
That's the other thing. Is just
is that part of the indecisiveness? You don't know what your most important need is going to be.
Yes.
We know they struggled offensively for long stretches. Now, the last 9 games, so Dodgers, Brewers, Diamondbacks, they've averaged 5 runs per game.
Yeah, it's better.
Which is good.
That's better, yeah.
That's good. Have they turned a corner a bit offensively? Is pitching the bigger need now? That's all relevant to discuss. All right, we still have full phone lines next year on The Fan.
We're as good as the Yankees. As Ben and I are arguing in here. We're fine. The Yankees have lost 5 straight. We're the exact same boat.
What I'm
as the New
saying
York
is
Yankees.
that as Padres fans, welcome back. It is Ben and Woods. Our phone lines are still open, 833-288-0973. The Yankees have gone 29 straight innings without scoring. They have been shut out 3 straight. They're playing the Angels right now. They've got shut out twice by the Angels. Yet, as a Padres fan, I'm not worried about the Yankees.
No.
I think they'll be fine. They got good players.
Well,
they got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton's back. They're gonna be absolutely fine.
Well, they're third in runs. They're 7th in batting average. They're 2nd in OBP. They're 2nd in slugging percentage. We are dead last in almost all of those.
Right.
So they're in. They have,
but there are similarities in that I expect Fernando Tatis Jr. to find his pop back. He's not just going to hit 13 home runs and then it's done. Fernando, one day he just stopped hitting home runs. He was an elite home run hitter, and then that remember that day when he decided no more home runs ever. He's going to have stretches again where he carries the team, and the Padres are scoring a bunch of runs. But as Padres fans, we can't really see through the fog. I think Yankees fans are probably panicking right now.
Yeah, but they always panic.
Well, so do we.
Yeah, well,
every team's fan base.
I feel like we have reason to.
But they don't.
I don't think so.
They're panicking for no reason. We're panicking for reason.
Correct. When you look at the trends of where your offense is, I mean, it's almost as bad as it gets. You're up there with teams like the Pirates and the White Sox, down there with teams like the Pirates and the White Sox and even the Marlins are better offensively, I think.
And a lot of that, clearly the Padres, the bottom of the order, has been bad. But a lot of the reason you're down there is because Fernando Tatis Jr. had a huge slump. Luis Arraez has not been Luis Arraez. Jake Cronenworth has been okay, but missed a lot of time, wasn't great. You do have the ability to get up and score more runs. We saw it early in the season. They certainly are capable of doing it.
They had so many opportunities to score runs yesterday. So many opportunities. I mean,
and they did score 6.
They did. And if Xander comes through once, twice, in 5 ABs, it's a totally different ballgame. Totally different ballgame. Satan's Blowfish has a comment that I didn't want to realize, but I think he's right. And again, my pal Shirtless Whitson, who I love on Twitter, we've been going at it for about a year and a half on Luis Arraez. I love that guy. Satan's Blowfish says he needs a new team, sadly. I love what he brings to the field. I love his energy. I love his passion for the game. I love all of it. Maybe he's hitting in the wrong spot. I don't know. But right now, he's
not hitting for high enough average to be
correct
a useful player
at all.
Now, if he wins batting titles, all right, he's a useful player. If he can hit 330, it doesn't matter if he doesn't walk that much because, hey, his OBP is going to be at least 330, and it's probably a little bit higher than that. At 270, Luis Arraez is a below-average player in Major League Baseball.
He is. It's tough, and because again, love the dude. I told you, it's the only guy I've ever been starstruck around was meeting Luis Arraez. I love the man. I love the man. Could you get something back for him? I think you could, but you got to also find somebody to replace him.
Correct.
I was last year, same situation. They walked Toddy to get to Luis Arraez. I go, he's going to get a knock. This year, I go, he's going to pop out. The swing selections, the pitch selections, it's so confounding.
It's a tough bar to clear when you essentially have to win a batting title to be a productive player.
Yeah.
And he's cleared it 3 years in a row.
Yes.
He's cleared it.
Yes.
But think about how impossible that is. Unless you win a batting title, then you're not really helping your team that much.
It's crazy, too. Like Jack says, he's the only guy in Major League Baseball history to only be valuable if he wins a batting title. Yes. It's a bummer. I love him. I love the guy. I love his energy. You need a guy like that on your team, but I just don't know if he could. I don't know if he should be hitting in the 2-hole.
Could he hit 380 the rest of the way?
He could.
But he hasn't been trending that way. And the swings, as you said, there's just the high majority of those short swings poking the ball to left field. Other teams are savvy to it. They're playing him shallower and closer to the line. He got 3 of them in yesterday, but those are going to be out soon. They're just going to, we're going to park our left fielder pretty much 8 feet from the
Like
foul line,
like a rover,
about 100 feet behind third base, and you're going to be sitting there, and he's going to be out, and the center fielder is going to be playing in left field.
Well, and Fritz
has to be able to pull the ball.
Fritzy in the chat says he's Tatis elite home run hitter. Look at the last 3 years: 25, 21, 13. Yeah, not elite by any stretch, but he had 42 and 21. That's an elite home run hitter.
He missed a lot of time.
Missed a lot of time.
Missed like how many months last year?
Yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt. So I mean, he has it in him to definitely.
I mean, rate wise, he is an elite home run hitter.
Yeah,
like per at bats. Now he has not done so in the last month, and that's been concerning. And one of the reasons why the Padres have struggled offensively, they're not getting power even from the guys they expect.
It's the bummer too, because Callis all day says Arraez is 7 for 19 in the last 4 games. Yes, you're right. It's the weirdest. He's the weirdest guy to watch because you're like, I see him get knocks. I know he gets knocks, but it's just in situations like that popped up last night.
He goes 7 for 19 the rest of the season. I'll take that. He's a productive player. If he goes 7 for every 19 plate appearances, that's like 370 or something.
Yep.
All right, keep that up, and yeah, you're okay. We can definitely live with that the rest of the year. But then when he goes 6 games and has a series where he's 1 for 13, now he's not doing anything.
Wrapping
at all.
into double plays.
And he's had too many of those this year. A lot of multi-hit games, but more 0-hit games than he's ever had in his career at this point.
Yeah, he's not striking out, which actually would have helped us plenty of times if he would strike out. He's certainly not walking. Said walking was, wanted to be part of his game. Man, the guy swings at some horrible pitches, man. He really, really does. He really, really does. Last night, 2-0. Bonda kind of scuffling a little bit. Just, you think a 2-0 pitch, it's got to be perfect. But what is the perfect pitch for him? In his mind, all of them. All of them. So what's he looking for 2-0 there, Ben? Anything.
Well, he hits better on pitches that are outside the zone. So he's looking for something a foot outside that he can hit to left field.
It's crazy.
Flip to left field.
And again, you take that if you're that's why they walked Tatis. You take that. You take a Luis Arraez little poof to left field because they're going to score 1 run on you. That's all they're going to get because we're playing little league depth on Arraez. He hit one last week. I thought he was going to get somebody. No, the guy got back in time to catch it. I mean, they are playing him. Watch tonight when Luis Arraez is up there, more than likely batting second. Watch where the outfielders are. I've never seen anybody that shallow on a big leaguer.
I'd love to see Luis Arraez and Xander Bogaerts for just a week. Forget about making contact. Swing out of your shoes.
Hack. I want to see.
And if you strike out 10 times, fine.
Hack.
Just to give the opposing team another look. Other than I'm probably going to hit a grounder to the left side or I'm going to hit a looping liner to the left side, which is all they seem to do right now. Scare someone,
Get up there and hack.
Take a swing that makes the other team nervous. Even if you don't make contact. Put another thought in the other team's head right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, if that lineup comes out again tonight and it's Tatis, Arraez, Machado, Sheets, I'm going to lose my mind.
It will be.
I know.
Because there's not really. I saw someone suggest, it was Adam who said, he texted us last night. He said, do you need to put Tatis and Machado together for protection? All right, well, then you're even stacking more lefties down in the order, which is already one of your biggest weaknesses. You've got these lefty lanes for Vesia and Bonda, and they're just coming in and chewing through the Sheets, Cronenworth, put Arraez down there too. And I mean, it's just there's no great lineup that Mike Schilt can put out there. So he's going to stick with the one that he's got.
You got to have pieces that are firing on all cylinders, and they're just not. So, yeah, man. Like, why would you throw Manny anything?
Because Sheets is actually putting together some good at-bats.
Pretty good.
Right? They're more scared of Gavin Sheets than they are certainly of Luis Arraez. Certainly more scared than they are of Xander Bogaerts, obviously. And almost about as scared as they are of Fernando Tatis Jr. right now. Gavin Sheets is putting together good at-bats.
And it's so funny, too, because, again, maybe Xander does need to get off. He was off his feet last night. He was a designated hitter. Your alternatives are an injured now, probably Jose Iglesias at short or a Mason McCoy at short or a Tyler Wade at short. I'll take Xander over those guys. I will. I'll say it. I'll take Xander over those guys because of the promise. That's it. That's my only hope. He was a good player. He was some would say a great player in Boston. So I'm going to roll out the potential of a great player other than Mason McCoy below replacement, Tyler Wade below replacement, and Jose Iglesias, who just took 95 to the wrist.
There's no potential of great players there. There really is.
No.
Mason McCoy's a good defender.
Yeah.
But Xander's played pretty good defense this year. You're not getting any offense from Wade or McCoy consistently at shortstop. It has to be Bogarts.
Agreed. Any more calls?
Yeah, we got a lot of calls.
Go,
look, our friend Baseball Nick is on the line.
Nicky!
Good morning, Nick.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Good
buddy.
morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm just a working man now. I'm wearing a tie. It feels weird.
Why don't you get off speakerphone so we can hear you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Listen, I was texting Woods about this last night. I don't know what the team should do. I don't know what moves they should make. And I'm usually not the biggest, question guy, question the philosophy or whatever. But it seems like this lineup, besides not performing, they're just kind of out of sync with each other. And what I mean by that is, look at that, the seventh inning, they put together bases loaded with, arguably their second best hitter in Sheets. Why are we auto-taking 2-0?
I know.
But then you go to the eighth, and Arraez with 2 outs is swinging 2-0. Like you mentioned, who knows what his happy zone is? He's swinging at everything. But from an approach standpoint, hard-throwing righty with Gavin Sheets in the box, 2-0 is where I want him taking his biggest swing of the year.
Yep.
So stuff like that is what kind of confuses me and makes me kind of question the system a little bit.
Well, Nick, you've been around the game long enough to know this, that I think if you're Mike Schill, put yourself in his shoes. I don't know that I would be surprised if he has an actual take sign. I don't know that he has. I think he gives 100% license to Fernando, Luis, Manny, Xander. Hell, I'll even say Gavin Sheets. I'd say most of the guys on the team have 100%. Hey, bud, you know the game. You're a big leaguer for a reason. Green light. I bet you.
I agree with you.
I bet you most managers.
I agree with you
that he's not going to look out there and quickly make sure he takes this one. I think he trusts them to do it. When it works out, he looks like a genius. When it doesn't, he looks like a moron, and they look like morons for bad swing decisions. But I would be really, really surprised, Nikki, if he had an actual take sign for Luis Arraez, a 3-time batting champ.
Seth in the chat says Sheets or the pitcher had thrown 6 straight balls would be bashing Sheets if he popped out on a 2-0 pitch.
Yeah.
Just like you bashed Manny when he swung at a 3-0 pitch against the Dodgers. No, not you, but fans bashed Manny for swinging it at a 3-0 pitch in that situation when he can do damage. I wanted Sheets to be ready to swing at that fastball 2-0. I thought that was a missed opportunity. Then he ends up swinging a 3-1 ball in the dirt that he shouldn't have swung at.
Yep.
You might have had your best shot right there on 2-0 to change the game, and you took it. It's not a bad baseball play to take that pitch, but you could have changed the game on that pitch, and you decided to see if the pitcher could throw a strike.
Yeah, baseball next is maybe I don't need a take sign, but let's get in a room and talk about it so when the game comes, they don't look stupid night after night. Yeah, 100%. And when it's going poorly, and again, 5-6 runs, it's not a bad night against the Dodgers. But that was a game they were willing to punt last night. And you knew that. You knew that they were willing to throw in the towel, and you still couldn't beat them. And
Dave Roberts was almost excited with the possibility of punting that game.
He loves it. There's nobody loves it more. He was like,
just score 2 or 3 more. Kike, you're in.
Yep.
We're punting this one. We don't want to have to use Tanner Scott for a 3rd straight day. We don't want to have to use Bonda again. Padres let him hang around and gave him a chance to win that game, which they did.
Hector
still have
says,
bullpen issues. But
Hector says, did you guys forget about Bogart's 2 double plays? No, it's literally how he opened the show 3.5 hours ago.
That's all I've thought about, actually.
Of 5 at-bats, 2 double plays, 17 men left on base or something, 1 knock there. They're just, again, Schulte tells us all the time, we got to win the margins. We got to win the inches. You got to take walks when you can get walks. If you're Gavin Sheets, you got to win those. And I get Kopech is one of the nastiest, period. And that ball probably looked like a strike to the last second. And it wasn't. So I give them a lot of credit. The guys did fight last night. There's no doubt. They absolutely fought. We just got edged last night. That's what edging feels like, apparently. You know what edging is?
It's when you come really, really close, but don't end up winning in the end.
But there's another context.
Very close.
Right.
But not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which is kind of frustrating.
Every loss of to the Dodgers has been really, really close.
Now, I think edging is a new thing. We didn't do that. So Jack says edging is more fun than that. That doesn't sound fun to me. Not even in the slightest.
It's more fun than watching ground ball into double plays.
That's fair.
Inning double plays.
That's true. I guess
not getting a single runner in.
There's the promise of getting the run home, but you don't. So is it that fun, I ask you? Something to chew on for the rest of the day, Padres fans out there.
But when you do finally win, it feels really, really good, right?
Real good.
Yeah.
The best, some say.
Oh, my God. I want to talk about, I appreciate all the calls. They were actually good calls.
They
this
were
morning.
great calls, guys.
I want to talk about Nick Castellanos.
Oh, yeah.
We have not gotten to that. So Nick Castellanos.
What the hell happened last night?
Got benched by Rob Thompson for apparently talking back at the manager.
He talked back to the manager.
Got a little mouthy and suffered the consequences to it. And I think it brings up a very interesting question in baseball and in life. What can you say to your boss? Like what is okay to say to your boss? What is not okay to say to your boss?
Depends on your boss.
Craig
man.
Breslow, the boss. You better not say he's a stiff.
He will trade you.
You're getting
and
fired.
fire you.
What did Nick Castellanos say to his manager that got him benched? We don't know.
So he's in a decent little streak, right?
He had played until last night. He had played like 250, 60 straight games, second longest in baseball.
Yeah.
Was sat out last night. We will talk about that coming up with Ben and Woods. Don't go away. More on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, again, another opportunity to tell you about sdfatloss.com. It was my way to lose weight a couple of years ago. And when I say a couple of years, it was 2 years ago this month that I started the program. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I have kept the weight off. And I did it, again, during the summer. You can do it during the summer as well. Don't think about, oh, I'm going on vacation. I can't cheat. No, I had a couple of cheat days even during my weight loss phase and still lost 40 pounds. The counselors are great. The program is great. They know how to navigate. You can go out to restaurants, still stay on the program, still lose weight, still enjoy your road trip, whatever you're doing, and keep on program, lose the weight. And by August, you're going to be a new you. Find out how by getting a free consultation at sdfatloss.com. Tell you some of the details. You don't have to buy any shakes or bars. It's all based on real food. You don't have to exercise, and there are no injections or hormones or anything weird that could cause side effects. It's natural, real weight loss that becomes sustainable after you've lost the weight to keep the weight off. That is such a difference maker. So again, get your free consultation, and if you sign up now, do it during the summer. Get $200 off the program at sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
What did he say?
Don't know what he
Nobody
said.
knows.
Nick Castellanos on Monday, Philadelphia Phillies manager Rob Thompson took him out of the game for defensive purposes in the 8th inning. Had Max Kepler move over from center to right, and Johan Rojas came in to play center field. Not uncommon for you to make a defensive switch at the end of the game.
Not at all.
Apparently, as he came out, Castellanos said something to Rob Thompson, which the team said was an inappropriate comment, and as punishment, he was benched last night. Did not play for the first time in 237 games, ending a streak that started back in September of 2023. Castellanos told reporters not what he said, but he said, I wasn't happy about it, spoke my mind. He said, I crossed a line, so my punishment is I'm not playing. Thompson said, hey, one of the things I love about Nick, he's very emotional, loves to play every inning. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out. And so today he's not going to play, and I'm going to leave it at that. Baseball players are not necessarily, they're not known for being overly cautious with their words. How bad must the comment have been to result in the benching of a guy who had been in your lineup 236 straight games?
Guy got grounded, man. Got grounded by the manager. So no. It's the 8th inning. You played the whole game. We're going to make a switch for defensive purposes, and you got to be okay with that.
Did he say a bad word, or was this, am I earning my paycheck now, Chief?
I can't. I still believe that.
I can't imagine.
I still believe that
%.
happened. That happened. I believe it. They said it didn't, but I believe that it did. Am I earning my paycheck now, Chief?
There's
that?
no doubt in my mind that happened.
No doubt.
It's something like if he said, oh, F this, to coming out of the game. Is that really, would that be cause for getting benched? Did he get personal?
Like take a shot at his wife or something?
That's all I'm kind of thinking of. I mean, it must have gone beyond the old, I'm just complaining about coming out. As Rob Thompson said, you want a guy who wants to play. I mean, you certainly don't want a guy who's eager to come out of the game. To me, if I'm Rob Thompson, I also point out, hey, I got 26 guys on the team. I got to get spots for guys. He's a good defender. Get you off your feet for a couple of innings. Don't be such a,
don't be such a hardo
about this. Like, come on.
You're a gamer.
You're part of a team. We know you're a gamer. Sit down for a couple of innings. Relax, dude. At the same time, I don't remember the exact salary, but Nick Castellanos probably makes about 20 times what Rob Thompson is making.
Yeah.
Is it hard to boss around people who make way more than you do? Who they are the stars. You're the manager. They are the stars. They are the talent. They are the reason the people are coming to the stadium. Not for you, for those guys. But it's your job also to kind of be their boss. Keep them in line. I mean, they're supposed to follow your rules.
That's why they have a manager. If left to their own devices, God only knows what would happen.
It's hard to establish authority, though, when you know that ultimately I'm in a better spot than you are.
Is it the same way in like other sports, like NFL, NBA?
Well, I think you can't show up your manager in any sport. I think
agree.
anytime you show up your manager, when you show him up, that's when, like, you can disagree.
But he didn't do it publicly. I mean,
well, he did it, I guess, on his way back into the dugout.
Right. But there was no like reports.
No.
Nick Castellanos.
If he doesn't get benched, nobody would have known.
Yeah, they could have handled this behind the scenes, and as Paulie said, no one would have known. Other than inside, maybe the dugout in the clubhouse would have gone on.
You can absolutely show up your manager in front of your teammates. Absolutely. I think that's probably what happened. He said, hey, we're going to pull you. We're going to give Johan an inning here. And he's like, you out of your effing mind or whatever he said. I have no idea. I don't want to speculate. And in front of the team, that makes Rob Thompson look bad. So Rob then says, oh, okay, no problem. You're sitting tomorrow. That's it.
Are you worried?
Comment about his teammate that it was getting into the game.
But don't you look bad if you're the manager that one of your key guys says something and you're so sensitive that he has to sit for a game?
I think guys know that the manager has to establish like authority. And they know he's there for a reason. I think they respect that guy a lot. So I just think he probably, hey man, you can't snap on me in front of the team. You just can't. So I'm gonna have to bench you for a day. There's probably something of that nature. Like you can't get in my face about my decision to win a baseball game, Nick. You know better than that. And just benched him. I'm sure Rob would have been fine. Hey, I'm going to come to your office after this game. I want to chat about this. No problem. Shut the door, get after it a little bit. No problem. Probably happens all the time. But if he did it in the dugout, Ben, chewing him out, saying something flippant, and the other guys are going, ooh, man, then it kind of makes Rob look weak if he doesn't do anything. So it's hard, man. Like we always hear, Jesse said it yesterday. These guys spend an inordinate amount of time together, way too much. Imagine being us three together that much. We would murder each other.
This whole time trying to think of play it out in my head of what it might have looked like with Castellanos and Thompson. I started thinking about Manny and Tatis in the dugout a couple of years ago. And I don't remember who we had on the next morning. It was Skip. It might have even been a Buck Showalter. It was a former manager. Though. And they're like, I had less than zero problems with what happened. The only problem was that the cameras caught it. You got to go down into the dugout, do it behind the scenes. I remember that being the only sticking point was you just don't do that in front of the camera.
Yeah, take it down to the tunnel and away from the team, away from the cameras, and get after it down there.
If you're Rob Thompson, are you risking spoiling your relationship with one of your key guys by doing this?
I think Nick's been in the league he's a 10-year guy, so he gets it. And he wasn't happy about it. Certainly, he said, I said something, I spoke my mind. He didn't agree, and he benched me. I think he's fine today, and I think he's back in the lineup today. I think it's all hugs and kisses. So it happens. It happens all the time. I
promise Tom Brady and Bill Belichick yelled at each other.
God,
Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson yelled at each other.
100%.
You can disagree even passionately and really get into it. There's just a line you don't cross. Yeah, and apparently he crossed it.
For sure.
And that line's different, I think, with every manager.
Yep.
Speaking of player management relationships, Paulie's got the Reindl Report coming up, including a whole new Rafael Devers that shows up in San Francisco versus the one that was playing in Boston.
It's good drama. I don't know if it's going to be good for Padres fans in the NL West, but
we will get to that. First, though, it's time to give away another pair of Padres tickets. We got 2 tickets to the Padres Nationals game on June 23rd. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a free Fernando Tatis Jr. bat flip bobblehead. Get your tickets now at padres.com/tickets or win them from Ben & Woods by calling 833-288-0973. Fourth caller going to win 833-288-0973. Good luck. See you at the next homestand, and we'll get to the Reindl Report when we come back with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First of all, though, we're off tomorrow morning because of the holiday, which means we could go to 7 Mile Casino instead of the show. Early morning, 6 a.m. I'll meet you there. Because it's open 24/7. I don't think we will tomorrow because, I want to sleep in a little bit. But I love that there's an option for the late risers, for the early, the overnighters, the guys who work late shifts. You can go to 7 Mile Casino at 5 a.m., play cards, eat a meal. It's open 24/7, and that is pretty rare in San Diego.
I love it, too. The great food there, 24 hours a day. I've had every kind of meal you could have at 7 Mile Casino. Love the Kung Pao chicken. The breakfast there is outstanding as well. The brunch, award-winning brunch. But love the
dessert, the messy Sunday.
The messy Sunday. Mm-hmm. But the California-style blackjack is what keeps me coming back. Check it out for yourself, guys. Best part, just 7 minutes from Petco Park. Can't beat that.
Can't beat it at 7 Mile Casino.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Do you foresee any more drama tonight?
No, I was just going to ask you that question. It's like you read my mind. It's like we have good chemistry. I don't.
You guys have good alignment.
We are aligned. Alignment. I was looking for alignment and found some alignment.
Does Manny wear one?
No.
Do the Dodgers feel like they have to get the last word in?
I don't think they will. I really
The problem
don't.
is there's no last word. If the Dodgers hit Manny, Padres would feel like they have to respond. And then the Dodgers would feel like they have to respond. Someone has to end it.
I think until the bench is actually finally clear and
Yeah.
maybe you guys start shoving each other around, that's when it's kind of obviously not finished, but finished for now.
I really don't. Emmett Sheehan is a kid coming up today. You know, he wants. There's opportunity with the LA Dodgers. If you're a starting pitcher, there's opportunity there to make a name for yourself. Emmett Sheehan has got really, really good stuff, and he's a really good young pitcher for them. And I don't think he's going to do something. If I will say this, it's on the record, if he hits somebody, I don't think it's on purpose. I really don't. And who's on the bump for us today? Kolek. Kolek's not hitting anybody. We're good. Today should be a nice, fun, peaceful baseball game where we probably lose by 6. So I think.
What makes
Why
you
do
think
they're
that?
going to lose by 6? They haven't lost by 6 in any of these other games.
All right,
They
lose
always
by
lose
2.
by 2.
Okay, fine, 2. I feel like they're going to lose by 2.
See, every game has felt like a playoff game.
They've been
minus,
awesome, man.
minus the Tuesday blowout last week.
Yeah, it's been all. Look, to be 1-4 against, was it 1-4?
Yeah,
against these guys right now sucks because you feel like you have played a little bit better, but you also feel like, man, we've made a ton of mistakes and have almost won a lot of these games, and we're missing Jackson Merrill, and we're missing Michael King, and we're missing. So you can talk yourself into it, but I don't think anything's going to spill over. I think it's got to be dead in the water, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
and if it does, I hope it doesn't come from us.
It's just, the games are going to be close, so you don't want to. I mean, one of these times, if you hit a guy, you're going to give the Dodgers a free run, and
well, dude,
that may decide the game. I can count on one hand the times the Padres really haven't been in a game this season.
Right.
There's the Blue Jays game. They lost that one early to the Cubs. They kind of got bodied. They had that one bad one against the A's. I mean, that's about it this season. The other 70, 69 games they played, they could have easily won any of them. They play a lot of close games.
Guys, we have to eliminate the big inning. The big inning has murdered this team, and
especially against the Dodgers.
Oh, I mean, it's just killed us.
And no team can more easily put together a big inning than the Dodgers because their lineup never really hits that
dead
all right,
spot.
we're finally to that dead spot. For the Padres, unfortunately, the dead spot is now
the
5
second
through
inning.
9.
Right.
Because when Jackson's hurt, you hit Xander and below, you don't have a lot of hope. Jake can put together a good at bat and get on base, but he's not a huge threat.
Not a big power threat.
So, you hope that, you get a home run out of a Trenton Brooks. Elias Diaz can do something. Maybe get a guy or two on base before you get back to the top of the lineup. But that's the best the Padres can hope for.
Correct.
The Dodgers can hope for Yeah, we can bat around, go all the way through, and then get right back to the top guys, and you never really miss a beat. Andy Pies is hitting
900
7th for them.
Yeah, and hitting 900 against us.
He's an all-star maybe right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the thing is when you go back and let's say Kolek plunks Mookie Betts in the knee today. Oh boy, here we go. Let's not fire them up anymore. Mike Schilt should wear it for what Andy Pajes has done the last 2 nights. That's on Schilt. Like screaming at him, who do you think you are? I laughed when he said it.
Profar did last year after they started
it. Will Smith, that near hit by pitch, Profar didn't really do anything. He just jumped out of the way like, holy crap, gets up to dig in the box, and then Will Smith says something. And then Profar stops, looks back, then they start jawing, right? Mm-hmm. So Will Smith doesn't open his mouth. There's no Mr.
I wish it was
Irrelevant.
that easy. I mean,
what do you
fire
mean?
up. Well, I mean, why don't Padres take advantage of that as
kidding.
well? Plenty. You can play a clip of Dave Roberts and what he says in the clubhouse. Padres will go out and score 30 today.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't work that way, though.
It doesn't. It seemingly doesn't work for us that way, but it works for them. They don't give them a reason. Don't give them any more reason.
But it's not football. You can't scream at guys, have them running out at 100 miles an hour from the locker room.
Trying to kill somebody.
Trying to kill someone.
Right.
That doesn't help you in baseball.
Yeah,
generally.
just listen. Try to play the game the right way. I think the beef should be dead.
I don't think it's dead.
You don't?
I think the first pitch that's inside on a Dodger is going to get somebody at least a little bit of a look around, like, oh, okay.
But I mean, Kolek, he's lost his own a little bit a couple times this year. Doesn't throw hard. He's not gonna hurt somebody, I don't think. And
she had this victim narrative for the last couple of years.
It's true.
I don't think it's gonna stop now.
It's true. But I figure I feel like it's gonna die. Yeah.
All right, Paulie's got some headlines. Reindl Report to wrap things up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This traffic report is driven by Manny Sedano Ford in LA Mesa, wishing all dads and grads a great June. Watch out for a collision taking down 2 lanes on the westbound side of the 52 at exit 15. It is just stop and go, and still clearing an accident southbound on the 15 at Via Rancho Parkway. Celebrate dads and grads with a new ride from Sedano Ford in La Mesa. The F-150 STX Super Crew Cab is just $299. Bronco Big Bend is $271, and the Mustang Mach-E Select only $157 a month. For more details on these offers, visit SedanoFord.com. I'm Sue Alley with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. Kelly Danick will be back on Friday, everybody. All right.
I love LA Mesa.
LA Mesa. Manny Sedano.
Ooh, hey, how are you?
Celia Sedano.
Ooh.
Manny Sedano.
You like that new Ford F-150?
Maybe like a...
Ooh, how about a Mac 3?
All right, let's start here.
Thank you, Sue, for filling in.
Love you, Sue. Thank you.
Start with a local note. It was announced yesterday that San Diego State Baseball has named their newest head coach, Kevin Vance. He was the assistant coach at the University of Arizona, coming off a berth in the College World Series, and now he is going to be the next man at the helm for the Black and Red on the Mesa. I don't know much more about him other than that.
Played with Kyle Glazer.
Torrey Pines High School.
Yep.
Fellow Falcon. He was. So this
Young
is
dude.
this is the second straight time that the Aztecs have hired the Arizona pitching coach. That's what Sean Cole was, and he lasted 2 seasons and got let go. He's got to turn around the program. I mean, J.D. Wicker said that he consulted with Bud Black, consulted with Steven Strasburg, consulted with our colleague Tony Gwynn Jr.
Nice,
and that they all, played a part in the hiring process, and they ended up with Kevin Vance as the choice as the new head coach. And Hopefully they get it right, because San Diego State should have a good baseball program.
Unequivocally.
Perfect part of the country, great facility, great legacy,
Yeah, I didn't even know he's like my age.
34.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder what you're doing with your life, doesn't it, Paulie?
I mean, that and like having a class with Kawhi Leonard freshman year of college and going, he's going to go a lot more places than I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's going to do a lot more cool stuff.
Yeah.
Murray State just got to the College World Series. San Diego State's never even made the super regional.
Crazy, man.
That they've got to be able to turn that around.
Yep.
There's no excuses.
Yeah, because, Murray State probably not just loaded with NIL money and the best players and all that.
All good on the San Diego State front there?
Yeah,
sure.
Let's move on. A champion was crowned in the NHL last night, and the Florida Panthers are your Stanley Cup champions going back to back. They took down the Edmonton Oilers 5-1 last night to win Game 6. Series is over at 4-2, and I just, I'm sure it's much more of a talking point for those that are more invested in hockey than I am. I think the fact that a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup in like 33 years now is one of the craziest things in sports.
Well, how about the Connor McDavid stat of 9 straight seasons with 90-plus points and no Stanley Cup? I think he's the only person in history to ever do that. It's an excruciating legacy.
I do think
he's been in the league 9 years. Is that right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
9 years?
I do think, obviously, American teams are filled with Canadians, so part of it's just a fluke that the teams that are actually based in Canada haven't won the Stanley Cup. It's not like Florida Panthers are a bunch
Floridians.
of Floridians.
Right. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, Stanley Cup again.
Yeah, we moved down from Jersey. We started playing some hockey, and here we are winning another Stanley Cup. Now,
look in that Pepe hole. Just
They
all
built
Floridians.
this trophy just for me.
Look at this. Actually, sir, that's the Stanley Cup. It's
Lord
been passed-
Stanley's.
No, that was built just for me.
so in a sense,
How
I mean,
you
it's
doing?
just kind of a weird quirk that the Canadian
I know.
teams
I
don't
know.
win.
But I
it
promise
is-
you, the Canadians.
it is weird.
The Canadians on the Florida Panthers, even they are like, we really need to get this cup back to Canada.
They got a group chat with all
the
the players in the league. They're like, all right, everybody, we got to sign with
We gotta get this
Calgary
thing back.
or
They
Edmonton.
can take it with them on their day with the cup, which is one of the great traditions
I
of
agree.
sports,
Oh,
is
it's
getting
the
to have the
best.
cup and do whatever you want with it for a day.
You don't even know what I would do with
I
that
did
cup.
see Evander Kane got lit up though for not doing the handshake line.
Yeah.
after
Oh,
the
he didn't
game.
do it?
He finished the game in the penalty box after taking a penalty. And apparently he was kind of upset with how it ended. But in hockey, that's a big thing. You got to do the handshakes at the end, and he wasn't out there. And
It's actually a
lot of
dub.
people.
It's actually a dub to see him lose in the Stanley Cup. He is not a good guy.
It's funny. I always enjoy not always, I guess, but 99% of the time I enjoy watching a team win a championship, even if it's a sport I'm not super invested in. Here is the audio from how it sounded on their flagship in Miami, WQAM. And I love that. I mean, this game was over. It wasn't a last second shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't an overtime walk-off winner. Sometimes the games, that's how they usually end in a championship game, close games. You got to wait until the end. And then there's times like last night where it's 5-2. This game is over, and you kind of get to start the celebration a little early.
Half a minute to play in the third. The Panthers are starting to celebrate on the bench. 25 seconds. Here's Bouchard. Pass to center. Puck goes in over the Panthers' line. It's dumped down to our right. 15 seconds. Forsling. Back behind the Panthers'
Crowd's
net.
just waiting.
Gus
waiting.
Forsling will hold it. The finals at 10 seconds. Down to the final 5 seconds. Rats rain down. Lord Stanley staying in South Florida. Last year was greatness. This time it's historic. The Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Now let's focus on Dolphin season.
Florida.
Immediately.
Hockey country.
Immediately.
All right. And finally, can we talk a little Ozzy Osbourne maybe?
Anytime.
All right. I still actually, I'll admit something. I don't know anything about Liquid Death. I've never had
Water.
a can of Liquid Death. I thought it was canned water, right?
It is canned
It's
water.
canned water.
I think they also have other drinks though, because this is a Liquid Death story about their iced tea.
Okay.
So their Liquid Death, they recently sold 10 cans of iced tea that had, well, they're saying fresh batches of Ozzy Osbourne's genetic material on it.
On it or in it?
Well, they're empty cans. What they did is they sold 10 empty cans that Ozzy Osbourne drank, put his lips on, and then sold them. They were put into these containers and autographed by Ozzy personally.
Okay.
Any guesses on what these were going for?
Less than the Sydney Sweeney soap.
It's definitely in that same vein.
$5,000?
No, $450 each. There's only 10 of them.
Okay.
10 people spent $450 on an empty can of liquid death
Put it up
water
on your
mantle.
and say,
An
"That's
empty
Ozzy
can.
Osbourne drank from that?"
Yeah, this is Ozzy's can.
And then when someone comes over to your house,
That's
why
Ozzy's
is there an
can.
empty can of
Because that's Ozzy
liquid
Osbourne
death
drank
iced
out of
tea? You say Ozzy drank out of that, and then the person goes, "Okay."
Yeah, it's cool.
It's not really though.
Can't really do anything with it
because Ozzy's famous for what? Drinking iced tea.
No, he's a
now, if
famous
Arnold
musician.
Palmer had drank some iced tea with mixed with lemonade, and you had a can of that. Now that would be cool.
Okay. Different strokes for different folks, I think.
I mean, if you had Sydney Sweeney's the soap, you could actually use that soap.
Did you see?
I did.
You did. You know what I'm going to say?
Yes.
I don't know.
Somebody bought it. Bored a hole through
Oh, I
the
did, yeah.
middle of it.
Yeah.
Man, I
saw that,
really
and then I
like-
saw there was like one of the most frequently asked questions about it was, "Does it come with a hole in it?" And they're like, "No, that was a joke." There's one guy.
Some guy.
Those freaking bars of soap, by the way, they were $8. You could buy them. I don't remember how many they had.
Are the
originally
cans,
made?
Are the cans signed by Ozzy?
I don't know if it's the can or the container that the cans
All
come
right,
in.
so
but something is signed.
Okay, then you got his
something.
autograph. That's cool. The hole got me. I mean, it came up on Twitter, and I went, "Oh, you clever bastards, man! You got me real good." I love this stuff. It's so good.
We didn't quite get to Rafael Devers, but they lost his first game. He had an RBI double.
Yeah.
But he says, "Yeah, play me wherever you want. Third base, first base."
We can talk
designated
more about
hitter,
it
I'm fine. Yeah.
Friday.
We will be
We're
back.
off tomorrow. Suck it.
Which hopefully guarantees the Padres win, and we miss out on talking about it in the morning.
Guarantee.
That's
It's
what
also
we're
means the
hoping.
guarantee
at least.
lost tomorrow night.
Braden's got thoughts. He's coming up next. For Paul Reindl and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk to you Friday morning here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.